Hello, everybody, and welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Hey, we're live again.
Yay!
It's been a while.
Kind of.
For us, it's been a while.
It's been a week.
That feels like a while.
Okay.
I'm very used to being live again, and I'm very happy to be
I was
it.
on Twitch this past week, so.
That's right. That's right. Tiffany Twitches over on twitch.tv/ComicPop. You can always watch her streams on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
That's what we're trying. We're trying Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We'll see how it goes. I'm a Twitch.
Did you say you are a Twitch?
Yeah, like a witch, but a Twitch.
Oh, that's fun.
No, it's not.
If you're not familiar with this show, this is where we take the books from the past week, recap them, review them, let you know what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for books that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. Of course, if you want to sponsor today's episode, you can do so if you're watching live by using Super Chats. Make a question or comment in the Super Chat, post it, we'll read it here on the show, and it's part of the show forever. We have a couple of Super Chats already. Vincent Brown, for example, says that he's not feeling very well. Hey guys, feeling a little sick today, but thought I'd donate some cash to my favorite YouTubers. Love the For Halloween back issues. Stay awesome.
Thank you so much. I hope you feel better.
Same, yeah, agreed.
Rest up.
Exactly. But if you missed it, you could watch our back issues, which we did a 4-people back issues on Doctor Strange versus Dracula. Very spooktacular finish to our spooktastic month.
Yeah, we did a bunch of them.
Spooky stuff.
We did 4 spooky themed back issues.
That's right. 3 out of 4, hosted by you.
That's right.
And we have one more spooky GBU, which I have to edit, that will be out in the spooky month of November.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it could also have just been an episode in general. It's just that we coincided with the spooky theming for the month.
Around my birthday.
Okay. Yeah. When is your birthday?
Doesn't matter. Keep going.
Well, so we got a bunch of stuff to talk about before we get to Three Jokers, which of course we did read and we're going to review for you towards the end of the program. And then we're going to give recommendations at the end of that. Like, so after Three Jokers, stick around for more. I wanted to mention something at the top of the hour, of course. Dark Knight's Death Metal Rise of the New God #1 came out from Brian Edward Hill, James Tynion IV, Jesus Marino, and Nick Vrelta, all contributed to making this this issue, which is not a one-shot, unlike the other 6 or 7 one-shots that came out over the span of death metal. Dark Knight's Death Metal Robin King #1, Dark Knight's Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knights, Dark Knight's Metal Trinity Crisis, Dark Knight's Death Metal The Guidebook, Dark Knight's Death Metal Speed Metal, Dark Knight's Death Metal Metaverse's End, and of course this issue, Rise of the New God. If you bought them all, you spent $40. So I hope you're enjoying your Dark Knight's Death Metal fix. Hopefully, more importantly, the stores that this is made for are earning off of this, because I don't know who is backing this series anymore, but I hope it's going well for you. Dark Knight's Death Metal Rise of the New God saw the resurrection of Metron. This is, if ever you were like, okay, so like clearly all the John stuff, Doomsday Clock, Three Jokers, anything John's related, we're just doing everything we can to superimpose whatever the hell we have else coming out over it or completely negate it. Metron, of course, was killed by Dr. Manhattan towards the end of Dark Side War, and a new character reaches into the Earth, pulls out Metron's skull, brings him back to life, and asks him a bunch of questions. This character being the Chronicler, a new character who comes out of the metaverse or multiverse or the outside the multiverse, a new cosmic character who's super duper powerful, who is like, what's this? I usually track like worlds ending, but not worlds this colorful. Can someone please explain to me what the cyclical nature of superheroes are and stuff? And it's very meta, but also very superhero comics. If you like Superboy Prime, you're probably really going to enjoy this issue. Not because Superboy Prime is in it. In fact, he doesn't even have a reference. It's just the fact that it is so in that kind of wheelhouse of like, what? Huge power scaling. What? Massive multiplayer or multiversal players in this story. New character. Crazy design. Otherwise, it's just going to be business as usual. If you're reading Death Metal and you're like, man, what I could use is just more of that. Like just bigger, more bombastic, crazier characters. Here you go.
The Chronicler?
The Chronicler. Which is what Metron actually refers to himself as. So, But this one's a real he's a chronicler.
Is he not meant to make himself involved with things?
He is not. He normally doesn't.
He's only meant to chronicle.
That's right.
Not watch. He's not watching.
No, that would be infringing. No. He chronicles. He is part of a race of chroniclers, and he does chronicle. And he is forbidden from involving himself in their affairs. Now, that is not to be confused with Tempest Fugonaut, who is a race of Fugonauts, who also is but only to guard the multiverse, not to get involved. Yeah, it's literally just another Tempest Fugonaut, but this one wasn't created by Dan DiDio, because screw him.
At DC and Marvel writers, I challenge you for the rest of the year, don't make a new character. Let's see if you can do it.
I bet they can't.
I bet they can't either.
I bet that's something that they're incapable of doing. Now, that being said, we just watched a documentary about Chris Claremont and how, the X-Men from Claremont's beginning till yesterday has all been about creating new characters and shoving new characters onto the page.
Right, but he was doing it to tell stories, not because he was hoping to get royalties.
Exactly.
It's different reasons for doing things, whereas he felt it was a need because he constantly wanted to refresh and make new things, and they just want to get that fat paycheck. And by fat, I mean not, because they're comic book writers, so I get it. There's not a lot of scratch to be thrown around.
Yeah.
But don't dilute the brand.
They don't care.
I know.
The most frustrating thing is just hey, listen, if you, it's like that scene in Ninja Turtles the movie where all the foot soldiers used axes to chop the top level floor, and then Donatello's hey, this might not be a really good time, structurally speaking, for more of your buddies to drop in, because otherwise the floor is going to cave in, and it does. That's where it is.
I can't believe you made that. You connected everything to TMNT.
I did. Why'd I do that?
I don't know.
Because TMNT The Last Ronin finally came out from Eastman and Laird. It's their supposedly their last team up of all time. It's also their first team up in a long, long time.
Did you plan that?
No. But The Last Ronin came out. This is a 4-issue miniseries chronicling it's Dark Knight Returns for Ninja Turtles, and nothing could make it more apparent than the art, which is spectacular, glorious, ridiculous, and awesome. It informs the work because, of course, Eastman and Laird were huge Frank Miller fans, such that that's the origins of the Turtles. So it would stand to reason that the last Ninja Turtle story would be a homage to Dark Knight Returns / Frank Miller. And what's funny is it's not like Spider-Man Reign, which is just let's do Dark Knight Returns for Spider-Man. This is more like an actual, it's like someone read the goddamn book and was I get it, and I'm gonna use the spirit of Frank Miller to tell a similar idea of the last days of our character.
Okay.
That's it. That's pretty cool. The thing that's not cool, the only strike I have to give against this book is the sizing of it. This is not your standard size. This is in a magazine bag and board.
Oh, it is. Oh, and it doesn't. It's not even the.
It's not the Black Label magazine size. This is tall for a magazine, but not wide.
But it still fits in there.
It fits in there, but it's gonna slide around if you move it around at all. That was the complaint I heard.
Okay.
But listen, I am so proud of them for messing with the format, for doing something different, going bold with it. And the story here is fun. I don't even want to spoil it. I just want to tell you, Last Ronin's fun. If you get a chance, you should definitely pick it up. And if you don't, you should definitely do the hardcover, or at least the trade paperback, which, if you think we're not going to do Last Ronin on back issues, you are dreaming. Next Ninja Turtles book, Last Ronin. Little spoiler for you there. But yeah, Rise of the New God. By the way, I do recommend Last Ronin. I do not recommend Last New God. That being said, having read Last New God, I was just this is kind of fun. It's silly.
Really?
It was just okay. It's very much all house cleaning. It's just how are we going to get things back to the way they were?
Okay.
So they do. And they're going to do it with a brand new character.
New character. That's how you fix it.
That's how you fix everything.
New character.
New character. Because it's not like you have 1,000 characters that could occupy any role you want to do.
They can't do it.
Well, because that way you won't, if they make a CW character or a movie character, you won't get a check. It's the beneficification.
Okay, and to be fair, I just want to point out there, we're not down on all new characters. To be fair,
some of them get video games and they look really cool.
I was gonna say the Upside Down Man is a great addition, I think, to the Justice League Dark and DC pantheon
yeah, sure.
of characters, like just a cool, like evil, like, you know, magical being.
Yeah, a character that literally no one will ever use.
Maybe.
Which is too bad, because like I've seen him nowhere except in that book, and like it's too bad because he would be a really cool character.
Right, but like I'm just saying, like, so like it's not everywhere. By the way, Justice League Dark came out this week as well.
Yes, it did.
And we still haven't wrapped it up. I really feel like they're drawing this out, and I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm not saying it's decompressed.
They're just dragging it out.
It just feels like it's like they're trying to give it its due, but it also just kind of felt, I don't know. This issue was just really like filler to get to where Zatanna would realize what she needed to do, which makes sense. Like It's like they're in their like 0 hour, and it's like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? And everybody rallies and they all work together, and like, you know, Kent comes back to be Dr. Fate, and like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of cool stuff that happens, and everyone rallies together, and it's really, really neat. And like Swamp Thing sacrifices himself again.
Which is what he does in this book.
It's
apparently.
like what he does. If you're Swamp Thing, that's what you're doing with your life. And Wonder Woman, they make the callback to Hecate and her power, and how Cersei had it, and how she was like put someplace else, and she'd been using the power to just kind of like create like very like, you know, like really like working through her issues by like creating like nice things.
Okay.
And like so like Wonder Woman calls on that power again and becomes
the Thing from the Witching Hour.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so like we see her like just like jump into action, and then like Zatanna realizes what she needs to do based on like all the clues. She has like that like Kaiser Soze moment where she's like putting it all together, and then she's like, oh, okay, here's what I need to do. What I need to do is like bind myself to the Upside Down Man. And like so there's like this really cool last page image of like the two of them like in this like cool body horror moment of like the two of them like occupying the same space.
Okay.
So it's cool, but like it was so short. I think it was total 22 pages.
Oh, okay. That's the standard length now.
But that's like, you know, with ads.
Right.
That I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, so it read very quickly, and yeah. I mean, I'm still excited, and I'm on board, and I'm glad that they're dealing with this, and yeah.
Cool. Brian Rowland's Off the Rack was definitely missed, but you guys definitely deserve the time off. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy to hear the best channel talking comics again. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, we took a break because Baltimore Comic Con was hosted on this channel. If you want to watch it, it's all unlisted, but it's in a playlist at the bottom of the channel. Go check out the whole thing. If you have a whole weekend to watch.
Yeah, but we thought we'd give you guys a break, and also we'd been camping.
Yeah, we went camping that weekend.
And sometimes you just want, like, after you come back from camping, it's a great time, but like you're a little tired.
Yeah,
because you've been sleeping on the ground.
Yeah. Rusky 910. I'm so lost with DC. Is Death Metal supposed to reset the world again so I can start reading DC? Sure. Actually, yeah. Like, Death Metal will end with like a kind of like, it's not a reboot, it's everything. It's essentially going to be like a kind of, it's going to feel like a reboot because the whole world was turned into like, you know, a Meatloaf album cover. So it's supposed to feel like a reboot.
I thought you were saying like a meatloaf, like just everything kind of thrown together.
Well, it's that
and like
too.
Formed into a loaf, and it's like, maybe if it's good, like maybe
if it's good, it's pretty okay.
It's pretty
and
good.
If it's
and like
not, it's just not.
You're just like, why?
Yeah. Why did you ruin all these meats? But yeah, and of course you'll have to check out Future State to see like what could have been, and then immediately get off. Raj Patel, what surprised me most about the books last week was both TMNT, The Last Ronin, and Hellblazer were the best books of the week. Yeah. Not a dig on either of those books, but by the way, hashtag save Hellblazer.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hellblazer to come out. I believe this is the penultimate because it's issue 11, issue 12. Will be the end of the Spurrier run on Hellblazer. I hope you got your trade, everybody. I hope those who wanted to support it, who could, because if listen, funds are short. I get it.
Yeah.
But if you did and you had the ability to do that, thank you for doing that. Thank you for giving it a try to help to bolster this book because it's literally like one of my favorite books.
Yeah, we do have a spare.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I don't know if Danielle's in the chat, but maybe she could whip up a thing where we could do a giveaway at the end of the episode.
So you can tell Sal's to tell me things before we come on.
So if we can do that, why don't we go ahead and make the hashtag Save Hellblazer, and we'll have a random selector. By the way, if you do want to win, you have to live in the continental United States.
Yeah, it makes it easier for us to.
It's just so much easier and cheaper for me. Because I'm shipping it.
Yeah.
DC wouldn't ship it, but I will.
Yeah, we'll ship it.
But yeah, we ship it all right. But yeah, definitely hashtag Save Hellblazer in the chat. It'll go through an aggregator, and a winner will win. The winner has to be at the end of the chat.
You have to be here. We have to reach out to you and yell your name.
Yes, we have to contact you. So at the end of the episode, we will select you. You sound off. We'll make it happen. And yeah, we'll send you a free copy of the trade paperback for Cy Spurrier's Hellblazer. Because we have 2 of them.
That's awesome.
So yeah, hashtag save Hellblazer. And when we're done, tweet at Cy. Tell him we did that.
You don't have to do that.
Meow Nien says, had a rough day teaching, so I'm super happy and thankful to be able to come home and catch this. Thanks always. Yep. What? Teaching is never easy, especially during right now.
Yeah,
so
dude.
You're a soldier. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Rusky says, the Not Watcher, is Snyder trying out for Marvel? He doesn't have to try out. He can just call them and he'll get it. But yeah, we're almost there. Carl Maxey says, Sal, will you ever review the 34 issues of Radioactive Spider-Gwen written by Latour for back issues? Hear me out, Evil Matt Murdock. Oh no, I've read it. I love Evil Matt Murdock. I've just never thought about it. Like, it's never been a thing. I should check it out. Yeah, I should read that. Or I should do it on back issues. We'll see. There's another Spider-Girl that I have been planning on putting on back issues for a long time. But why not? You know what? Ghost Spider deserves her due. Speaking of spiders, Amazing Spider-Man number 51 from Spencer and Gleason came out.
Look at that Ditko-esque cover.
It is just great. This issue was terrific. I also want to give a quick shout out to Edgar Delgado for his coloring on this book, and in particular for the cover. Spider-Man's kind of a hit or miss for me for a while. It's been a little weak for me, particularly Spencer. The art's been like good / what, and this is where it's like, man, because the first issue of Spencer's run, when he brings Mary Jane back together, teases his kindred and everything, like that was a great get me issue. I think it's over 2 years old now, but if this was the first issue, it would have been like, holy crap!
I'm in.
You could have cut out literally everything and just been like, there's this crazy guy. His name's Kindred. He might be Harry Osborn. And whoa, he dug up the graves of a bunch of people that Peter let die in his guilt and set them up at the end of like a dinner table. How messed up is that? That's the issue.
Right.
It's just like, that's pretty messed up. Where does he come from? Who is he? Why is he doing this? We don't know. So it's like, this issue might as well be your first issue. So if you're interested in checking out Spider-Man, this should be your first issue. Spider-Man literally is just like, he goes to Doc Strange. He's like, yo, man, I need your help. Doc's like, you got it, man. Let's go. He gives him the Hand of the Vishanti, which is actually a callback to one more goddamn... Actually, it's not One More Day. It is it's another JMS story with Shade, a character that was invented in that run and never used again.
Oh.
I think this is his next appearance, was literally this. But he strays from the path, he gets the attention of the other, blah, blah, blah. The point is, he uses the Hand of the Vishanti, or at least the Hands of Death, or something like that, in One More Day. But it's very much, there's a lot of allusions, because he busts out the Hand of the Vishanti again, and then he's like, wait a minute, it doesn't work on you, because you may have made some kind of arrangement. And then that's that. Of course, Spider-Man didn't expect Doc to work with him in the first place, so before he went to the Sanctum, he went to Black Cat's house and was like, I'm going to need you to steal whatever it is that Doc Strange uses to help me out. So she goes and steals the Hand of the Vishanti
his
after.
talent and abilities.
Exactly. Well, no. There's some totemic element. So she sneaks in, and she even says, like, this isn't the first time I've broken into Doctor Strange's house, so I'm happy to do it.
Like, he doesn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. More like broken out of, where it's like she snuck out after a dalliance with Doctor Strange. I don't think they've ever slept together, but
you know what?
I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past him to try.
No, absolutely not.
She's like, no.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. It's just a fun little story.
I like Silk's wing, like monstrous kind of form.
Yes, she was possessed by essentially like the sins of Norman Osborn,
it's just kind
made
of
manifest
looking.
by Kindred. Yeah, she is cool with wings. But yeah, they wrap that up in 3 pages and then they just send her away, and it's pretty cool. It's just a good issue. I just really enjoyed it. I love seeing Pete and Steve together. So
is that gonna be like a throwaway moment?
What?
The like, this should work on you, but it doesn't?
No, there's no way. I don't think so. I think that.
Well, how about this? Doc doesn't have his own book, so he's got all the time in the world now.
Yeah, Doc could be a supporting character in Spider-Man for the next several issues.
There's technically a school that's named after him, but he has very little to do with that unless he does now because he doesn't have a book anymore. So he could be doing anything and be everywhere right now.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Now's your time, Marvel writers. Take advantage.
Yeah, use him everywhere.
Use Doctor Strange. Some of the best stuff for Doctor Strange is when he is in a supporting role, because like he is an excellent character to like just be like, all right, who am I gonna call? Doc Strange.
Exactly.
And like he could be like he's always busy.
Yeah.
He's always busy. You don't know what he's doing, but he's always busy. He's like, conjuring or, off elsewhere in another dimension, meditating.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, but I like...
or nothing.
No, or nothing. I do like seeing those two together. Yeah. Obviously, we're going to be seeing them in cinema together again.
Yeah.
We've seen Spider-Man team up with Doctor Strange at least twice already now.
Yeah. It's nice.
How cool.
It's cute.
I'm excited to see them in a vacuum where it's just the two of them working together.
Me too, because that Doctor Strange, depending on the director, has like not a lot of patience for him.
Yeah. But like, and depending on the writer, he doesn't have much patience for Pete in the comics either.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we should do On the Way to Dusty Death though on back issue sometime. Okay. That's a good Spider-Man Doctor Strange team up book. I think Roger Stern wrote it. It looks cool.
Team up.
It's an older book.
but it checks out.
So you should check it out. I highly recommend it. In fact, I recommend it so much. I think this, if you've been sleeping on Spider-Man, this is the issue to pick.
Jump on
now, because you'll be like, oh, okay. Troy Harness says, "Hi everyone. Fun fact: I just read Batman: Dark Knight, Dark City, which is the actual origin of Barbatos, or Borbathos, as he is called in Dark City. That's right. Yeah, he first appeared there, or at least referenced. Yeah, it's cool." I mean, I think that's the book that Grant Morrison read and was like, oh, I'll use that. So yeah, check it out. It's an older book, but again,
it checks out.
Nick Ewing, I love your Batman videos, especially the Batman Universe one, because Batman is like a real dude. Do you know any other comics with that tone? Oh, man. You can go in the worst direction and get any of Kevin Smith's Batman books. Those have him being more like a dude, but it's like, it's a little more like silly. It's hard to pick a good Batman book that's like seminal that has him acting like a human being.
I say Gothic. I think he does act like a real dude. He just is in the midst of something that is not so grounded, but he definitely has those reactions.
Yeah. I think I like obviously I've recommended the 90s Batman run with anything with Norm Brayfogle. The art of course is worth the price of admission, but like also Batman is a little more grounded. He's dating. He's like, he wants to go out with Vicky, but he's too busy being Batman, and like the tone hasn't gone full Dark Knight Returns yet. So it's like it's some fun stuff. Okay. Like he is still a person.
Right.
So I would recommend some like older stuff, like basically Alan Grant stuff, Denny O'Neil stuff. He's a little more grounded. Anything like pre-2000 Batman hasn't gone like full asshole yet. Lucas Aragno says, "Hey, sending some support from Argentina. Hope you're staying safe. We are. Hopefully you are as well. Just finished up Ex Machina this week and loved it. Any plans for future back issues on that series? Not right away. The biggest Vaughn book is Saga, and that book didn't do very well in the like third volume. So we've been kind of sleeping on doing a lot of that like wheelhouse of indie book." But I do recommend Ex Machina to anybody who is interested. I bought it for a friend of mine like years ago. One year I was like, Christmas, everyone's getting a book that I think is tailored for their personality. And I picked it up for them and they were like, I'll never read this. Thanks. And I was like, okay, you have no taste. Like, okay, your taste level is completely softened. Like your palate's gone.
Right.
But yeah, so thank you for sharing. And thank you for your support. So yeah, and what else you got?
Oh, we ready for X-Men?
Yeah, let's do X-Men.
We gotta do. All right, so we don't have a lot to talk about. There's 3 books that came out between the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
So for those of us, we missed out on a check-in, guys, which means we missed out on X-Men number 13 and Excalibur number 13.
Yep.
Guess what happened in Excalibur?
What you said?
Yeah. Just a little differently. Basically, and you know what's hilarious is like I completely read these out of order. So I read Stasis first, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute!" And then I went back, and I'm like, "Oh yeah."
We're leading up to that.
Whoops! It didn't spoil a damn thing,
good,
honestly. But essentially, like we drop in on Saturnine, where like Jamie and Brian are like flying in on griffins, and like Betsy's there, and like Saturnine is just like laying into her like you wouldn't believe.
Okay.
Because like Brian's back.
Oh.
And she's like, hey, Betsy, like, you shouldn't be Captain Britain. He should be Captain. Look how hot he is. He's so hot. He's so hot. Get out of here.
Can't argue with that.
Give him the amulet. Just stop.
Would he become Captain Britain if he just got the amulet? Or,
yeah.
Because he's not really, like, worthy of it anymore, right?
She says it's okay. And
all right, well, she would know.
Yeah. So, essentially, like, you know, Betsy's like, listen, like, we have to still find the Starlight Sword. We don't even know where that is. Like, we got to figure that out. And, like, Brian has the Sword of Might. He keeps trying to give it to Betsy. And, like, he's just like, you don't have to be Captain Britain anymore. I can be Captain Britain. It's okay. Like, I'm better now. You can give me the amulet and you take the Sword of Might. I don't want it. And she's like, I already have a sword. Thanks. I make it myself.
Nice.
And, you know, it's pointed out that, like, there was no Captain Britain Corps anymore, and that, like, they were lost during the incursions and such, and, like, Saturnine's like, you know, so, like, you know, it'd be better if we just had actual Captain Britain who was actually chosen, and like, Betsy's like, we do have a Captain Britain Corps, we technically have them, like, squirreled away, remember?
Right,
like,
yeah.
you know, there's Richter and Gambit and Rogue and Jubilee from, like, alternate realities that Jamie made, and she's like, yeah, no, actually, that's bullshit, and they have to actually be killed. It's just whenever I want to, because they didn't choose. They were just they're like, it's false. And she's like, I didn't pick. She's like, yeah, I know about that. Yeah, I'm arresting everybody. And so, like, inevitably, those four do break out. They try to kill Jamie. She arrests all of them. Jamie kills the Jubilee version of Captain Britain. And Betsy is also attacked and, like, arrested. And she ends up, like, Brian tries to take the amulet from her, and so she destroys it. And so she destroys the amulet of Captain Britain.
What the hell?
And, like, Saturn's like, that's fine, you don't need that. Like, arrest her, take her away. And she's like, and Brian, will you walk me back to my room? And he's like, yeah, why not? And so obviously, like, you know, she's, you know, putting the moves on him. And inevitably, like, Betsy is able to reach out with her powers to the other three. And also, Jamie bombs in and is like, hey, let's do this. And so, like, she, like, leaps out of the tower into, like, this darkness, and he catches her, and he's like, all right, we gotta go to a room. And, like, she sees that, like, Brian's getting the moves put on him. And then, like, she's like, hey, you know, he's like, I can't be Captain Britain. I'm like Captain of Avalon right now.
I'm lame
and
now.
I work for, like, Jamie. And she's like, no, you don't need the amulet. Like, I'm in charge. And so, like, here you go. You want your sword? Here you go. And in her room, she pulls out the Starlight sword.
Okay.
And she gives it to him. Then they bust it, and it was all a ruse.
Oh.
And he's like, first of all, I'm married.
Right.
No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, but where is she?
She's on Krakoa. But
Meg?
like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Brian's like, I'm married, so no. I was just playing along so we could get the sword. We knew you had the sword, like, somewhere, and we assumed it might be your room. And so someone had to get in your room, and here I am.
Okay.
And so, essentially, Betsy takes that sword. So she's got the Starlight Sword, and Brian wields the Sword of Might, and the two of them go and take their place.
Okay.
And, like, it's kind of cool because the fact is, it's like, yes, this is a mutant problem, but it's not just a mutant problem. It's going to become a whole world problem, which I am so surprised and thankful that, like, the Fantastic Four are like, oh, excuse me?
Yeah.
Are you fighting for all of us? Because I feel like we should be involved.
Yeah.
You know, where are the Avengers? It doesn't matter. They're taking care of it, and Captain Britain's also part of it. He does at least have a specific tie to Otherworld,
sure.
Right? Cool. So we did exactly what I thought. It's just we named their swords. Like, he's taking the Sword of Might, she's taking the Starlight Sword.
Okay.
And then in X-Men, we remember how, like, Apocalypse was hurt?
Yes.
Yeah, we finally heal him.
Oh, okay, cool.
And, like, they almost can't. And they're trying desperately to hurry up to, like, make his, like, egg.
Yes.
But it's like, we're starting from scratch here. Like, this is going to take a couple of days, and we don't have a couple of days.
Right.
So inevitably they do heal him.
Okay.
And he's like, and when he is being healed, he, like, has all of these memories that, like, come back, or he just tells everybody a whole bunch of stuff about, like, you know, his family and, like, what happened and, like, why, like, they went to Araco and all of that. And that, like, essentially, there was, like, the 100. Remember, there, like, that 100 that went through?
Yeah.
So it seems like the way they describe the timeline is, like, the world is split in, or, like, the chasm opens up, everybody pours out, they're able to fight them back. The 100 go through to stave them off, essentially, and then it's determined that, like, they do have to split the world. But, like, or, like, you know, Krakoa, or Oraco.
Yeah.
Or Okora.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
the evil
whole
place?
one. No,
or
the whole one.
Oh.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, by the time you have already put it in the chat.
Okara.
Yeah, it's Okara. I was gonna say, by the time it's in the chat, I'm already moved on.
Yeah.
But essentially, that like an emissary comes through and it's like they had kind of beaten them back to some degree because of his wife, because of Genesis.
Yes.
And like how like strong she is, right? Mm-hmm. And they come forth and like these monsters are there and they open up this box and there's like this mask. It's the Mask of Annihilation. And they put like one of them puts it on and it's like the Mask of Annihilation is the only thing that can rule Amenth.
Okay.
Which is like that evil realm. It's this dark realm that has like it's just
Those
chaos.
Monsters in it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just chaos and like there's really no ruling order. And if not for the mask, no one could really like exist there at all. And like the mask, whoever wears it, it usually like it controls them and most people can't survive it.
Right.
And they try to like make like a deal in a way and I'm like, you have no chips at that point. Like seemingly you had lost. Mm-hmm. But that like essentially it's like, you know, if you want to have a battle, like you should let us become like whole, right? Like you should let us like heal up. And it's like shortly after that like Genesis's sister is the one that leaves. She's the one that's like she doesn't lose. Yeah. Right? Remember that happens earlier, guys? Or like she leaves because she can't like lose a battle.
Yeah, she bails.
And so they realize that they can't win this, and that's when like she goes. But like basically Apocalypse is like has this moment with his wife and his kids, and like they're like going, and he's like, I want to go with you. And she's like, you can't. And you know why? Because you're weak. Because you're not strong enough, honey. Okay? Yeah. You're not. He's like, She's like, but you stay here.
I'll teach you a lesson.
You stay here. No, he's like, she's right. He's like, she's totally right. And like, so like she tells him to stay here and like judge those who like the world like is for inevitably and like raise them and like try to make them better so they may come and help us at some point. Like,
so like Apocalypse's whole motivation for taking over the world is to raise an army to get his family back.
Yeah, and like also in a way like she was like make them worthy.
Yeah. And
so like, that's what his whole shtick has been apparently.
Yes, that's
now what it is.
Okay.
That's now what it is. That's fine. And so then he's like, I gotta go get my sword.
Oh, he has a sword.
He's got a sword. And so like when he and his wife got married, her sister, so his sister-in-law, what's her name? Iska. Okay. I want to put an M in there. Iska, the I'm losing. Forged a sword out of like broken pieces, and like it was all very like perfect for like, you know, being part of Krakoa and Arako. You know what I mean? It was perfect. Yeah. And so after they left, he broke the sword. And he hid it away because he was like, screw this. Sure. And so he goes and gets the pieces of Scarab and he takes his sword up and he's the last one. Okay. That they needed.
Oh, cool.
The other one's Gorgon.
Yes.
But he's like, so like, I think they only have 9. Because he has 2 swords.
Oh, okay.
So then we do Stasis, which is kind of just like a check-in with like, okay, so we know about all of our guys. Let's learn about their guys a little bit. Like it's very short. It's very just like, hey, these are the characters we're going to be seeing on their side, and like we get the names of their weapons, and that's kind of it. Also, we see Saturnine sending emissaries to hold her own court. That's a huge thing in Hickman's X-Men, is the idea of like this court-like government. Yeah. Where, you know, it's all like, it's like sort of a democracy and like the ruling houses, just like very much on Krakoa right now, where it's like you've like the summer home and like, you know what I mean? Like you've like these representatives from each of them.
Well, we've seen those parallels before already.
Yeah, and Saturnine has that, of course, because there's several realms in Otherworld, and so all of them come. And essentially, I think they're voting on, I don't know what they're voting on, honestly. I don't know if they're not voting on like what the events that are about to happen. But the point is that like they also have this moment of like, so you had 2 of Apocalypse's kids there. Yeah. And like, she's like, this is actually a really good point or time right now to talk about like, are you in charge of that area now? Like, is that what we're saying? Because like, we didn't really talk about that and we didn't really vote on that and we didn't discuss this at all. Sure. So is that what you're saying? You're taking claim. And so they show that it's like been decimated. And so they're like, I guess, yeah, whatever. Okay. Cool. So she's like, are your champions ready? And they're like, oh yeah. And we see like this sweet splash image of them with like their counterparts of like our side, like underneath them. It's like neat because like she asks Jamie like, are Krakoa's champions ready? And he's like, they're on their way. They're getting there.
It's 44 parts or whatever.
Well, no, they get there then. By the way, there's like, you know, Krakoa had like this like beautiful tribute to their friend.
Yes. Made out of his rocks.
Yeah, they made it out of that. Like
Yeah.
Polaris made it there. They make theirs out of bodies.
Oh.
I'm
Okay.
like, yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. And so we watch Summoner go to each of the people and like recruit them. And like, for example, you know how like Warlock is going?
Yeah.
And like Krakoa is upset about that?
Yeah.
Arako's like individual, their translator is going.
Cool, okay.
As well. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And
Yeah.
like, they're really sad. Like Arako's really sad about that. And
Okay.
like cries. There's like a big monster man. Pog.
Okay.
That's also the name of the sword. I just like this image of this like
Alligator man
who has alligator hands but also regular hands.
Yeah.
I'm all about that.
Okie dokes.
So we just introduce all the characters. Iska is one of them. I believe.
Makes
yeah.
sense.
And I'm like, but she's unbeaten. But I guess that like since we saw her like switch sides at one point, it's fine.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter as much as like everyone arrives, right? They arrive and there's nobody there. Like our guys are there, and like Apocalypse is like, it's kind of begun now. Like these swords, yes, we're going to probably use them as swords, but they are also like keys to get us there. So it's like more or less proof that you're the person who's supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I would still hold on to your sword.
Yeah.
And Saturnine shows up and like she's like, oh yeah, whatever, just giving them crap because like this chick is setting herself up to either accomplish everything she wants or to fall hard.
Right.
You know, like she's just so high on her horse. She gets everybody to their rooms. When they come to their rooms, there are tarot cards waiting for them.
Oh.
But the tarot cards aren't just swords. There's like one that is of swords, but like there were others, but each of them has their own image on them.
Okay.
And so like Storm gets death.
Oh.
And like it's Storm riding a horse.
Oh, cool.
And it's really cool. And there's like an army behind her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's neat. But of course, all of these cards have like different. It's not just death. Like yes, it can
Not
mean
like she's
death,
gonna die.
but
It's like
it could.
Yeah.
It can mean that, but it can also just mean change and transformation.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, she can become a horseman. So like everybody gets one. Apocalypse like crumples his up and goes to see Saturnine and is like, you know, cool, yeah. I'm like, I've had enough of your games. Like he's like, I'm gonna keep it together. I'm gonna keep it together until I'm tired of her shit.
Yeah.
And like gets to his room, sees that, and he's like, and I'm done. And I'm done. I can't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to see her, and like she's like, oh, you crumpled up the card. Those are special. Come on. I got a meeting to go to anyway. So he's invited to ride in this like super long, awkward elevator with her where like they just like go back and forth on like essentially like what it is she's looking for. And like she's like, isn't it funny how badly you wanted to be here at the Starlight Citadel and you tried so hard, you tried to attack and you tried to sneak in. I had to invite you.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? And he's like he's just seething in his own way.
Sure.
And she's like, well, anyway,
Good.
I'm here at my meeting and you know, he's
You're not
like,
invited.
no, she's like, I figured you might as well be here because of who it's with. It's your wife. And he's like, I thought you, I was like, I was going to raise hell on whoever like killed you and my enemy, and it turns out you are one and the same because she's wearing the Annihilation mask.
Right.
And like he's just sad. And that's it. I'm just like, oh, Apocalypse is either seriously playing the long game here,
right?
Or like we are watching Apocalypse be undone by like actually not knowing anything, and he's going to need to rely on his allies.
That's fun.
So I don't know which way this is going, but like we are getting to a point where it's like now we're in like the second half. I'm not saying we're in the end game, but like we're at a point where the story is going to really start progressing.
Yeah. You said there were 9 swords?
No, there's 10 swords. I think there's only 9 people.
Well, yeah, but Daken has 2 swords?
No,
or something like that?
It's Gorgon.
Oh, Gorgon, that's it.
Yeah.
Because where's Magneto's Cerebro blade?
Not there. It's not present.
All right.
Yeah. Our champions are Betsy, Wolverine, Cable, Storm, Brian, Cypher, Gorgon, Apocalypse, and the other person I didn't mention.
Yeah.
Who I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's Magic. It's Magic.
Right.
The first person. The
first
one is like, I'm ready.
I got my sword. Boom.
I would like to
use.
Who can I use my sword on? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot for me. Like I love Excalibur, but I was like this all went down very much how I thought.
Yeah.
There was part of me that's like, is Saturnine trying really hard to figure out how she could use like Krakoa's rebirth to like service her in the Captain Britain Corps? I don't know.
Yeah.
But like she's like playing another game.
Yeah.
Like, she's doing something else, and like I don't know. But like she's like super powerful, so you can't really say no to her.
No, is it fun?
No, I do think it's fun because for me this is very much like a quest.
Yes.
This is like, I'm not saying a D&D quest, but it is very much like a, like, you know, fetch kind of quest you'd see in like an RPG of some kind. So I'm in. I like it.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. All right.
And
so
that's our check-in. Yeah, I think that's issue 11. Was Stasis.
Like chapter 11 of 22?
Yeah.
So we are exactly halfway through.
Yep.
Cool.
It's gonna be like, it's gonna go fast.
Yeah.
Because, that was 11. So then everything else is coming out. So you got 1, 2, 3, like 4 more weeks of this, and that's it.
Okay.
It'll be over by Thanksgiving.
That's not bad.
Or around Thanksgiving.
That's not bad. So like immediately, like December 1st, everyone will know exactly what happened in Ten of Swords, and they'll all go to like,
November 25th is the last.
Watch him tell them what happened.
Or you could come hang out with us and we could all chat about it.
Yeah, we could actually make it a thing.
Yeah.
Or you could buy the damn thing. Mega Drybone says, any more Immortal Hulk on back issues? Also, has either of you seen the new Superman animated movie? We bought it.
Yes, we did see it.
Yeah, we reviewed it actually on another episode.
We did.
We liked it. It was cool.
Yes.
And I don't know. We'll see about Immortal Hulk. It's a sprawling epic, and like there's twists and turns and stuff. I don't know if I want to make it into like an installment based thing. I like to do like seminal stories, you know, not necessarily like chapter based, but you know, an Immortal Hulk is one of those things where it's like I dig it, but I'm not like in love with it, so I'm not not like one of those things where like I have to bring this to the people. It's like the top selling book for Marvel. Like you're reading it already. You don't need me. Poke Freak Gaming says, Hi. I've been a fan for a few years, and your videos are something I look forward to every week. Are there any flash books you're doing or open to doing on back issues? Well, Poke Freak, thank you very much for supporting us for so long.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a couple of flash books. I don't have anything like on the docket anytime soon, but like I've been meaning to do Mark Waid's, at least one of Mark Waid's stories. I should probably do at least one Williamson Flash story. So there's a couple of Flash, at least 2, but I have a list of, I have like a stack of Flash books that we need to do at some point.
Right.
And they're all kind of like fun, and they all kind of like are self-contained, so we can definitely get to those at some point.
Yeah.
Especially if and when Flash becomes like a movie character again, in which case we'll definitely gonna cover some Flash.
Yeah.
It's just like Flash doesn't give us the like boost we need to be like, we gotta do Flash every couple of months, and it's like, but then what else can we do? And there's other stories that I find more engaging or exciting that I want to do more, or something will like get in front of my vision, and I'm like, oh, that's exciting, you know.
Is it Flash?
It's never Flash. That's the thing.
Is it a Flash?
In a Flash gets sidelined. So.
I also forgot to mention that like for X-Men for
the X-Men book.
Yeah, for the X-Men books we're switching kind of artists here. So
yes.
At least for Stasis it was Hickman and Tini Howard writing with Pepe Larraz and Mahmoud Asrar.
Yes.
And I know for some folk that might have been like, oh, it's
jarring.
Different. But like I'm so used to Asrar's work on Conan that like I don't even think I noticed.
I think he's taking over for you on X-Men. Like from now on.
For Larraz?
Yeah. No. For because Lemieux Yu is off X-Men as a title.
Right.
I think Azrael is replacing him.
Okay.
As like
and
regular
I like his work quite a bit. It's a different feel. It's a little more visceral.
Oh, totally. And Yu is staying on the covers. So.
Got a grit to it. But
good.
Like I like it, especially for a combat style series. I mean, again, he's not going to be on every one of the books, but like I'm in.
Yeah. Deshaun Chalia says, what do you think will be Hickman's surprise reveal in his X-Men run, like Raboom Alal being Dr. Doom? I don't know. I don't see anything really being like kind of hidden yet.
I think if there's gonna be like, all right, in his overall X-Men run, I'm thinking
the big one. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say for this, I think it's whatever Saturnine has in store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we have. For me, it's like the Araco side of things. It's like very obvious what they want.
Yeah.
They're like, we want Krakoa back. We're gonna end up with that. That's all we want. We want one world. We're gonna come back and like screw everybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
For Apocalypse, I'm like, he seemingly just wants his like Arakko to come back and his family, but I'm like, is that really what he wants? Is
Right.
he this clueless? Because like they really do make a big deal about making sure to understand how powerful Genesis is compared to Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And it's like, but she hasn't seen him in a while. Maybe he's learned a few things.
Yeah.
You know?
Or he's in on it.
Or he's in on it. And then there's Saturnine, who's like, I don't know.
Who they're definitely not going to make as the main bad guy or player of the
right.
Excalibur.
Like, but she's got her own, like, she might lose but win secretively for like whatever it is she wants, and like we'll only have to deal with that in Excalibur.
Yeah, that's
fair.
Yeah. What do you think? Is there any other thing coming out? Is there anything else that you read? You want to cover?
No, I don't think I have anything else. I mean, other things definitely came out, but like I know we're in for a bit here, so we might as well get going on.
Yeah, all right. Three Jokers. Number 3 came out last week. It's written by Jeff Johns with art by Jason Fabok. It's the end of everything for this thing.
Yeah.
4 years running.
Mm-hmm.
I feel kind of funny because I'd spent like 3 hours the other day talking about this book, but I'm going to try and like just condense it to just issue 3.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Yes, but like I think it's also not.
We need to talk about like the book.
Yeah.
Like Three Jokers.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's. I don't know if I want to do like a page for page, but I guess we could.
I don't
like. It's basically just like
what
it wraps up.
Yeah, it wraps up.
It wraps up, and it does a couple of twists and turns where you're like, "Oh, I thought it was about this," and it's like, "No."
Yeah, how does this all wrap up? It's just a theater, an invitation, a bunch of jokers, the revelation, and then it's over.
Yeah, and then another revelation.
And then another revelation.
So we're going to talk about that a little bit right after I read some more of these, because there's a couple more. Colton Harris says, "Hey guys, bless you." Oh. Big fan for 2 years now. Any chance we'll cover Invincible more the closer we get to the animated series? Colton, thank you very much for your support. No, I'm good with Invincible, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. We introduced people to it. I think that's good. You're going to get the show. That's cool. And I think the algorithm will allow us to like let that episode speak for itself when the episode comes out.
Yeah.
So I think we're good. I don't want to talk about Invincible. Like, I don't want to turn it into a thing. Like, I really don't. I don't like it. Like, I like it a lot, and then I don't. Like, because I think that Grayson's a piece of shit. Like, towards the middle of the book. So I don't want to, and I don't want to talk about that for 2 hours, because I know that, like, we'll also get inundated with people being like, fuck you. And I'm like, I really, like, I don't need people telling me fuck you every day. So I'm just not going to do that. Like, I appreciate it. And I know how much people like Invincible. And I think I'm really going to enjoy the show. And I hope they do some diversions. But, like, no. Like, I don't want to talk about Invincible anymore. Rusky says, hey, has Hickman done anything with the Phoenix yet? No. I feel like whatever happens to the ending has to have a Phoenix playing a huge part. I wish, man. I don't think Phoenix factored into any of Moira's lives in any of Hawks and Pox.
No.
Which is kind of weird. Suspicious, you might say.
It's suspicious, but it could also just be she didn't, I don't know, like she didn't make note of it.
Yeah. I will say also that Phoenix is playing a big role in Avengers. So it could be that, like, the Marvel told him, you can do everything with X-Men except for the Phoenix.
Right.
And we want whatever Hickman, we want Aaron to play with the
I mean,
Phoenix.
that could be the thing that he's like, that's, I got that ace in the hole. It's like the Phoenix Force could show up. I don't know.
Right? I would love to see that, because I think Phoenix is not a Marvel. Like, I like the idea that Phoenix exists as, like, this thing, but, like, I don't want it to be, like, I like that it's a Marvel cosmic idea.
Yeah.
But I also am like, seeing the Avengers fighting the Phoenix by themselves feels a little gross. Like, I'm kind of like, no.
Okay.
No. Like, she's not Phoenix being, like, talked down by Captain America is not something I want to see. I want to see, she's an X-Men problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I would like to see that. Delapo Fiammi, Cerebro Blade is an X-Force. It's stolen. Apparently Pepe, the artist, teased a shot in all the sword bearers, and it had Magneto in it. Pepe says it was an accident. I think it might show up with Space Station Sword.
Which, by the way, if you didn't see, I tweeted out the look for Abigail.
Yeah. I know. Sword.
I just love it.
Great looking book, too. All the designs are great.
They'll just drive the space station into Arakko.
Yeah.
Into Otherworld.
Kaboom. No, they just created that.
It's okay.
Chocobo Kid. What?
You gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet.
Chocobo Kid says, talking about Ten of Swords art, I hope Marvel releases the X-Men Tarot deck.
Yeah, some of the art for those were amazing.
Yeah,
so good.
And they also like your hat.
Thanks.
So yeah, 3 Jokers.
Let's talk about
so
it.
we're gonna spoil a lot of it, and I think we'll just talk about it.
Yeah, but if you didn't read it, I don't want to hear.
Let's talk about the big changes. For one thing, we introduced 3 Jokers, then kill them all, and kill all but one.
Yeah,
which
that
sucks.
happens. Yep.
And the reason why it sucks isn't because it's like I miss them or I'm sad. It's because don't introduce an idea and then take it away immediately following that idea and expect me to care or have weight. You know, it would be like your long lost father coming back from the grave or coming back from like far away and then dying. You know, it's like, I never knew you. Like, I didn't know you existed and now you're dead.
Yeah.
What does that matter?
That matters.
I guess that
That's
does matter, but like,
no.
but it's like, hey, guess what? There were 3 Jokers. Oh, and now there's only one.
I'd say
so it's like it was before.
I'd say there was more like finding out that like there is like a restaurant or like cafe or something.
Right.
You, like, I didn't know that existed. Oh, it's closed.
Oh, it closed. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Oh, well,
really
then
didn't do anything.
Then things are exactly where they were before for me. So yeah, that's the thing. Overall, I think the real question, it's funny, it's like we were just watching that episode of Star Trek TNG where it's Measure of a Man, where they're deciding about like who Data is and if he's property or not and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like we're all dancing around the real question. Does 3 Jokers matter?
Let me hit you up with an Ethan question. Does any of it matter?
Right, no, because it's all fake.
No, but
these are phony people who don't exist.
But like,
so, no.
so if you look at it from that perspective,
right, exactly.
no.
But I'm joking, like, you know.
No, I know. If you look at it from the perspective of like, does it make you think?
Right.
I still say no.
No.
There wasn't there. This was like, I gotta tell you, like, I read the 3rd issue, and it's weird because the 3rd issue simultaneously had a moment for me where I was like, "Oh, I really like this."
Yes.
And and then the rest of it, I was like, "I don't care about any of this."
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I'm very much torn, but maybe I'm not, because I think the moment I like could have been a one-shot issue.
Yes.
And it would have just been really strong on its own.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't affect much because I have my own particular opinion about this character.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because, yeah, the whole thing is actually a retcon for Joe Chill.
Yeah, this isn't like about 3 Jokers. This is just like
This is just a Batman story.
This is just a Batman story.
And Batman wasn't really a character in this entire series, which is a real frustration for me.
No,
like,
he's just sort of reacting to things that are going on around him, and he doesn't really. This series had the opportunity to deal with Jason.
Yep.
And it had an opportunity to deal with the ramifications of what the Joker does.
Yes.
And
it could have, and it does that. It's funny because the book is, they kept saying over and over again, like, this book is about 3 people. It's about Batman, Barbara, and Jason. And it's like, actually, it's really more about Barbara and Jason. And what's funny about the thing with Jason is that, like, you didn't really do any research on Jason, so it's not really fair for you to have made any character growth or changes for Jason because you didn't pay attention to any of the things that happened. So for you, it's like, Jason died, he came back, because remember, Jeff Johns brought him back, and then didn't do anything with him until now. Yeah. So he's like, Jason came back, he, I guess, was Red Hood or something, I didn't read it, and then I wrote this. And it's like, dude, there's a lot of stuff that happened with Red Hood, like he became a character. I'm personally not a fan of Red Hood. I don't think he needs to exist, I don't like his character, but I don't, like, think that if you're going to do a seminal work that, like, explains or contextualizes the character, that you should ignore everything that is inconvenient about that character so that you can do that. Because you know what they're going to do for you? That. So, like, any of your growth for Red Hood is thrown out the window because everything Johns has contributed to or done at DC is being overwritten or thrown away. So it's like, it doesn't matter that you may have created something interesting or introspective or significant for Jason, because no one's going to care about that anymore. And so all the sacrifices you made, or all like the allowances you gave yourself, won't matter. And so you might as well have done a story that matters instead of doing whatever the hell this is. For the record, I do think that this matters. I think that it is a piece of art that exists, and ergo it de facto matters. I think I've seen a lot of our colleagues talking about how like useless and stupid and boring and unnecessary this is.
Right.
And I'm like, how unfair. Go make one. And it's like,
no, it's true. Here's the thing. When I say like make you think, since it's technically a Black Label book,
right,
I can't help but compare it to other Black Label books. And so immediately I go to Damned, and I'm like, Batman Damned, whether you like it or not, makes you think.
It's saying something. But you're right, because like the fact that the art is like so triumphant. Yes.
Yeah. No, it definitely. It's so part of my issue, I think, with the book overall,
yes,
like Three Jokers, just in general, is pacing. Like the pacing for me for this book is so off, and I didn't realize it until this final issue.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't want to say John's lost his way, but I feel like by the end he realized what the book was, and he didn't go back and adjust it.
No.
It was like, and I've heard that before, like with writers where they're writing something, and by the time they get to the end, they're like,
oh, it's actually about this.
Oh, okay. And like they go back and they make some edits. And I just feel like that didn't happen. Like it got to the end and it's like, oh, there's something really solid here.
Yeah.
But you need to get there.
Yeah, you need it. And there's a little bit of that, but it's really more in the visuals. You know, like there are callbacks or you know, like the book opens. Like the first issue is an opening with like showing you the death of the Waynes. And it's like, yeah, you're reading a Batman book. Everyone's going to do that.
Sure.
But you're going to get a payoff to that in the last issue.
Yeah.
And that is structurally sound. But I think in building off what you said, I think also there's an issue with structure. Like the story itself is not necessarily built like a kind of story that gives you that narrative punch. Because obviously this book is like a love letter to Killing Joke. This book wants to be Killing Joke too.
It really does.
But it's also not about that. It's really about Batman and Joe Chill.
Right, and what's so funny about that is it wanting to be Killing Joke so badly, and yet missing the mark on what the Killing Joke is about and what Joker was attempting to do there.
Yeah, well, because Killing Joke and this, or Killing Joke, what Joker's doing in Killing Joke and what Joker is doing in this are completely unrelated and unconnected, and have nothing to do with each other, and aren't even tonally similar. Because Killing Joke, Joker's trying to prove a point about himself. And in this, Joker's trying to help Batman. Also prove a point, I guess, about himself.
He's trying to, like... He's
be
like...
more important.
He's like, I'm
the big bad.
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to prove he's, like, Batman's favorite son.
Yes. Yeah, where he's like, no. Yeah, because Johns is like, I think, metatextually trying to say, with Joker's plan and with Joe Chill, he's trying to say, at the end of the day, Joker will be fundamentally, like, less relevant to Batman, because at the end of the day, the true villain of Batman is Joe Chill. Like, because at the end of the day, Joker can't be at the origin point. Like, you know what I mean? He predates Joe Chill by like 20 years.
Yeah, well, it's like, yes.
Joe Chill predates him by 20 years.
Right.
So he's like, I can't ever be that. You know, it's like seeing someone and then them never getting over your ex. And it's like, listen, that was, I didn't even know you. Like,
right.
You can never get back there.
Right.
That happened. And it's like, Joker's like, I can fix that. And it's like, I like that.
I
kind of like that.
I don't know if I do like that, because it seems completely flawed, that logic where he's just like, oh, if I fix this, it's like,
then I'm the only thing that matters.
Right, but it's like, and I mean, not that I'm saying that Batman would just give up on being Batman if he didn't have that once he gets over this, but it's like, in a way, if you think that that's what makes Batman Batman, and that's the thing,
then you don't get Batman.
But then you're just gonna take it away, and he's gonna be like, all right, fine.
Right. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
You know, like, that's where I'm like, it doesn't.
Except, but he doesn't, and I think maybe Joker knows him so well. He's like, no. Now you won't carry that pain anymore. Like, I know you well enough to know you'll never stop being Batman unless, like, they make you stop. Unless, like, because what he should have said in the paddy wagon when he's like, if I tell everyone who you are, you'll stop being Batman. And it's like, no. If I tell everyone who you are, and this is actually a Spider-Man conversation, because I've seen that argument made by villains of Spider-Man, where it's like, if I tell everyone who you are, Scarecrow will kill you.
Right.
Like, it's not fair. No.
Yeah,
I keep you for myself. Riddler kind of does that a little bit, where he's like, I won't tell you that I know who you are because that's something I have over you, and it's like that doesn't fundamentally work as well. I like the idea that Batman is the one riddle Riddler can't solve, so like that kind of sucks.
Right.
But like throw that away because that's just hush. But like with this, I kind of like Joker being like, I know you so well. I know that if you get over the trauma of Joe Chill, you won't stop being Batman. You'll just stop carrying the pain of your parents, which is the greatest pain, and it's something I have literally nothing to do with. So not only have I ingratiated myself into, like, your life with your parents and stuff, like, now I'm the only thing left.
Right.
You can get over your parents, you can get over Joe Chill, but you'll never get over me because I won't let you. Ha ha ha. Like, I like the idea that Joker's that obsessed. And that aware of Batman's psyche, that he's like, nah, I got in there. It's something so out of left field, and it's something that's not telegraphed or set up at all throughout the last 2 issues.
Yeah.
Which is another problem.
No, it is. And, like, what's funny about that is that, like, and obviously as is revealed in this book, is that, like, the Joker...
Yeah.
is the one we all thought it was.
The last Joker is our Joker.
Is the one
is the comedian.
Is the comedian. There he is, right?
Killing Joke Joker.
Yeah,
the one who's literally in every piece of art in this book.
And that, like, the criminal had his own agenda that was, like, spurred on by the comedian, and, like, the comedian tricked the criminal basically into thinking he was
I kind of like that, too.
I'm like, but whatever. Like, the inner workings of how Jokers work with one another, I literally, that's not my forte.
No, I don't like that
And I don't want to
either.
be part of that HR department.
Right.
But... I struggle with the fact that it's like, if it's all about, like, Batman's pain just in general.
Yeah.
And, like, letting go of that pain in particular, I'm surprised that the Joker wouldn't take advantage of having Jason Todd present.
Yes. Yeah, like, if Joker wanted to take away Batman's pain to be the only one.
Right, but he did cause that one.
Right,
like,
but why didn't he manipulate things for Jason and Barbara?
Right, he doesn't, like...
But he kind of did.
He doesn't twist the knife, is what I'm surprised at.
That's fair.
Because it's like, if at the end of the day, the comedian's plan was to remove this and remind him, he's like, it's all about me.
Yeah.
He kind of fails on the reminding him it's all about me.
Yeah, no, he just gives Batman closure. Like, he just
like,
creates this opportunity for him.
There, ta-da.
There, you didn't go to therapy and I made you go. Haha. But, like, you do kind of get that. Like, he almost gives everyone closure. Because he goes, when he attacks Barbara, he literally recreates the Killing Joke circumstance.
He shouldn't do that.
But like, I think he does, but he does that.
But it's like, I need a fresh start here.
Yeah. He's like, no. Like, maybe she'll stop being Batgirl if I give her the closure she needs and smashes my camera in my face.
That's so funny, though. It's like, because
he does not look surprised when she catches up on him. He's not like, he's not like upset. She smashed his face. He's like, haha, and then he leaves. Like, good. You got it. Same thing with Jason. He ties Jason to a chair. He hits him with the crowbar. He's not, according to this, not even the one who killed him.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. I'm hitting you with the crow. I'm giving you an opportunity to, like, rise up and get me. But he doesn't.
I don't know. There's something about it that's not. It's not solid.
No, it's not tight.
At all, and like,
and it's only 3 issues, and the issues aren't very long, and it's not really about much.
No.
So it's like, how could it not be airtight?
Right.
You've also had 4 goddamn years to make it. So it's like, every year you could have gone back and read all 3 issues and cut pages or changed things up, which maybe they did, and maybe it's just like, it became this monster that they just kept changing.
Yeah.
And became a chimera of nonsense.
Right.
But like, but at the end of the day, if you treat this like a crucible and burn away all the irrelevancies, you do get something interesting and pure, which is Batman dealing with the pain of Joe Chill.
Yeah, and like
is like the heart of the book.
And that is the thing that I like. That was the thing that, like, as I was reading, I was like, oh, I like this, even though I'm one of those people who I don't like it being a person.
I me either. I also fundamentally have that problem.
I understand that people do like that, and so I'm not trying to diminish that or take that away, but I am literally one of those people that, like, I prefer Batman's parents to be killed by a faceless killer.
Me too.
Because then it's Gotham.
Exactly.
Gotham took his parents.
Yeah.
They don't need a name.
No.
Like, that person doesn't.
Crime took his parents.
Crime. It's crime.
Yeah, no, because if the killer of his parents is the Joker or Joe Chill or whatever, there's a name, there's a guy, he can stop him.
Yeah.
If he can get closure. Closure is inevitable because everything dies. So it's like, but crime can't.
Yeah.
Which is why you have Batman Beyond, which is why Batman never stops, which is why he like takes venom and stuff. It's like because he has to keep going.
Yes. I will also say, fundamentally speaking, that as much as like Joker's like, haha, there, I fixed it. You dealt with it. He didn't really, because part of Batman's whole issue is that he feels guilt because he wanted to go to the movies.
Right. Well, it depends on who's writing it,
I guess. But like, you can't just remove that element. That like part of it is that like it was a movie for him. It was
No. And then maybe that's it. It's like, well, no, I just took away the pain of having a person who hurt you.
I guess.
You know, like
it's me. I'm the one who hurt you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Take care of all the other villains?
I mean, really, at the end of the day, I do believe that is the end result for Joker. Like, Joker's like, eventually I'm just going to kill all of them.
Good luck
like,
going
they're all in the way.
Good luck after going after the Al Ghouls.
I think he'll be happy to do it.
I'd like to see him try.
That's a war I would love to see, is Joker. But you know what's funny? We said that about Riddler, and we got the goddamn war of jokes and riddles.
It was wrong.
So I really don't want to see that. But I would love to see Joker be like, I've had enough of the Al Ghouls. I've had enough of these freaking people.
Yeah.
And their bullshit. It's stupid. Batman's not James Bond. Fuck you. Like,
but he is. You wouldn't have him without.
Yeah, I know. But I really like Joker being, I like Joker being possessive. The characterizations worked for me pretty well. The thing about it, after reading the whole thing and talking about it for multiple hours, I had a fundamental issue with Joker #2 with the clown, because I was like, I don't buy that he was the one who killed Jason Todd.
Right, because
I liked the idea that the comedian Joker still he killed Todd and then paralyzed Barbara.
Right.
But having reread Death in the Family and having looked back at older books, like The Laughing Fish, I feel more comfortable saying that was the clown.
No,
this is my own preconceived prejudices where I was like, I don't like that. And then I reread it and I'm like, that's fair. Like, the idea that there are two different Jokers, like one killed Jason, one crippled Barbara, and it's like, and you're trying to say that one is more savage than the other, and the one that's more savage actually didn't kill anybody, but crippled them?
I gotta tell you, like, that concept is
of just multiple Jokers.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I don't think anyone likes that idea.
And I know that they didn't want to do anything sort of supernatural. I'm kind of glad they didn't.
Me too.
I'm kind of glad, even though like that's
it would have been worse.
That's so my thing, right? That's so my thing.
Yeah.
And that there's nothing multiversal about it. It's not clones.
No clones, no multiverse. It's 3 guys. But like, what are their origins? Were they all Red Hood at one point or another? Because that does harken back. See, that's the thing about Johns, is that he does pay attention to continuity, but he also fucks with it. Because like, there are multiple Red Hoods. There have been multiple Red Hoods.
Yeah, he's like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah. But, it just seems like, I don't know. There's a lot there to unpack. The third issue didn't really provide the closure I wanted. But it
also made fun of you if you thought that it was important.
Oh yeah, the last line of the book is, "Oh, the Joker's name's not important," and it never was. You might as well have been like, "The book isn't really about Joker," and it never really was. Lol, and you're like, "Fuck you." The whole book is a joke. Then, like, that's the idea.
The Joker got us all.
Yeah, and that's kind of meta. I do like the idea of like, I want an Animal Man moment where you read in the book, you're like, "Oh shit, he's looking at me." Like, I want that kind of moment a lot, and and you get that, and like, there's a lot being done here. And like, it was only until we left page 2 or 3 open on our desktop that I'm like thinking, these are all Jokers that like were from the pool or from the crime scene, but like maybe not. Maybe these were all Jokers from all different stories. Like, some of them are just, it's reused art, but like, what if there are more than 3 Jokers? What if there's like 20 Jokers? And like, in any it's like Jim Starlin when he deals with Thanos, where he's like, "Oh no, in that story, Thanos was a punk. That was a clone Thanos." And like, Jim Starlin literally does a story in which he's like, no, Thanos made a bunch of clones that all think he's him, and those are all Thanos's.
Like Doombots.
Yeah. It's also John Byrne Claremont Doombots. But it's like the same thing where it's like, if there's a Joker that in an ultimately unsatisfactory Batman story, it's one of the 28 Jokers on the table. I don't like that idea either.
You know what's funny about that too is like, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, the Joker, the comedian, was going to kill all the other Jokers, but it's like,
see, I didn't see that coming, but I'm glad it happened.
Well, when he explains it all, it's like, well, obviously that has to happen.
Yeah.
But then why would you make any of these? Why would you? Like,
why are you? Yeah. Then yeah.
I mean, I guess he needed them for his plan, but like presumably, like based on the end of this story, there will be no more Jokers made.
Right.
Because he's like, no, it's about you and me.
Exactly. So there won't be any more Jokers.
I am your greatest love.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
He doesn't say anything remotely close.
No, but he
to
might
that.
as well, because there's like because again the art's like a triumph. If this looked like shit, I think people would be more
having a different conversation.
Like, this is a failure, a colossal failure of epic proportions.
I'm not saying it's either, because I honestly I don't even know. I mean, like, for me, because just I'm coming from a different perspective, I like Damned more than this.
Oh yeah, but these are apples and oranges.
I think
Damned
so
was not in continuity. This is supposed to be in continuity.
But this is clearly not in continuity.
Well, it's only not in continuity because
I really don't,
because the editors are small.
And I will, yeah, but I will also say I don't want it to be in continuity simply because of like literally the last pages of this issue.
Right.
Don't retcon that story.
No.
No offense, Jeff Johns, you have no right.
Yeah.
You have no right.
It's interesting because because they do retcon the Killing Joke in a like significant way, and it's not. I'm not sure if I care or not. In a post Doomsday Clock, before Watchmen HBO series world,
yeah,
I'm not sure if I have enough grit left to care that like one day Johns will probably write another story for DC that features the son of the Joker, and I because it doesn't undo Killing Joke. The fact that Boland forced a recoloring doesn't really undermine the joke, like the Killing Joke, because like the Absolute Edition keeps both of them.
No, I understand.
But I do. I don't like it either.
I don't care for it because I
know why.
Why I don't like it?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
We want our stories to be precious and stay that way.
I don't necessarily want them to be precious. I just think that certain stories, especially seminal works like that are so short, it's like, feel free to build on it.
Right.
But why change it?
Right. Well, because I needed to have that moment. Like,
no, you actually really didn't.
No, but I did, though. Because even though I didn't build towards it in any way, except in one scene where Joker comedian is at the house and he's like play acting, you know, his like family's still around. And it's like, does he miss them? Like, does he wish he had?
Well, he shouldn't, because the only thing he cares about is Batman.
Then why is that a thing? Like, why was that a scene? Why was he so like angry at the criminal Joker about disrupting his fantasy? And if that fantasy exists, why is it real at the end? As a kind of like, oh my God, what if he found out about it? Because we saw what would happen if he found out about it. He'd try and ingratiate himself into their lives, and they'd be miserable. But like, why would he care about that?
Yeah,
like there's a lot of that, and that's what this book is. It's like there's a lot of questions no one asked, and a lot of unanswered questions that no one cares about. Like who are three Jokers? It doesn't matter at the end of the day, and it never did. But
yeah.
And I think, but the other, and it's funny because like this is a debate that would occur regardless. But I made this point like in back issues, which you'll see next week. But like,
spoilers.
There's, but I think if Joker War didn't come out at the exact same time, I think more people would have liked this.
I still don't know about that, because the fact is, it had the number one thing working against it, as we mentioned before, time.
Yeah, if it had come out 4 years ago, people would love it.
Too much time has gone by, and so like your expectations were too high. It's like you've been working on something for 4 years. You're expecting some sort of perfection, even if you know in the back of your head that that's not really attainable. And, like, I'm thinking about the fact that this has nothing to do with comics, but like there's literally a game coming out. Cyberpunk is coming out, right? And it just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be judged more harshly because of how often it has been pushed back, because now you're thinking to yourself, but you had all this time. You had all this time. How come it's not perfect?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it doesn't take 50,000 man-hours to make three Jokers.
I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but like now you've got time working against you.
Yes.
And so taking so long, whether or not you had like some sort of ulterior motive, I don't know. You know, like, it's funny because it's like when this was kind of coming about, you obviously had like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie coming out. And I could see Warner Brothers loving this idea where it's just like, no, see, that's why we have all these Jokers.
Yeah.
There are all these Jokers.
Right.
Who cares?
And multiverse.
It's just a different Joker.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No,
But like now it's like, it's strange, especially because Joker War literally is going out, and like DC obviously knew.
Yeah.
When these books are going to be coming out as they were being released. Now, again, COVID.
Yeah.
COVID's a thing,
yeah.
And it could just been something where they're like, we can't hold this anymore.
No.
I don't care.
Right.
It has to come out.
Yeah. It's really too bad that they had the Monarch Theater in both of them, because like
that I can't.
Because I hated how they used it in Joker War.
I wasn't a big fan.
And I loved how it was used in this.
It was pretty good.
Because of course, like the thing is, I think my frustration is it's not very well executed. Like, or rather, it's not a very compelling story. It isn't a good retcon, and ultimately I don't care. But it is so well executed that I have to applaud it on certain levels. Like, okay, so Batman is dealing with Joe Chill. He rescues Joe Chill, and he forgives him. And so the Monarch Theater literally falls down. Like, the source of his pain, the house of his pain, falls to the ground and is destroyed because he finally lets himself heal. There's some good shit in there. Like, from the first page, or from the first issue of Barbara having basically 2 belly buttons. One for her first birth, and one from her rebirth through the Joker. Like, there is some good visual shit in here that's done by, like, artists.
Yeah.
And yet, at the end of the day, as it turns out, 3 Jokers, the concept, is just ultimately not very interesting. Like,
but it could have been.
Could it have been though? Like, is there any answer? It's like it's like finding out who Rey is. Is there any alternative that would have been actually satisfying? Like, secret Obi-Wan daughter, secret Palpatine daughter, secret Skywalker midichlorian clone baby.
I hilariously was like R-A-Y, and I'm like,
no, R-E-Y.
I know. I'm like, Stance?
Yeah. No. What? But like, ultimately, I don't think, like, making Rey a mystery box was a failure. The 3 Jokers mystery box was a failure, because it's ultimately just not very interesting to say. The reason why Joker has 3 distinct personalities, and even then they're not very distinct, is because there were 3 of them. And it's like, no, Joker's just an agent of chaos who changes his friggin' like brand every once in a while. Grant Morrison already tackled that in another story where he's like, no, Joker changes his shit every so often.
You just can't help it.
Okay, I don't really need an answer for why Joker's weird in different stories, because you know why? One of them came out in 38.
Yeah.
The other one came out in 55, and the other was 86.
Yeah. No,
you know, like,
they legit could have just done like almost more of a Fight Club kind of story with this.
Right, like there is one Joker and he sees 3 Jokers.
Yeah.
Or he sees other Jokers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that becomes them. Like, he's literally like, he's just.
Yeah, like their personalities more than their physical people.
Yeah.
That would have been a little better. Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, obviously that doesn't work with his detective story unless he actually just had body doubles doing things. But it's like the idea that, like, no, he is all of them. Yeah, right. Because of Joker toxin, because of being, you know. And how lame that at the end he's like, that's why comedian Joker is like, I regret creating him. Or did he create me? And and you're like, no. Not because it's not satisfying. It's just like, this just doesn't make any sense though. I know. Like, that's just kind of dumb. Well, because it's like, so the criminal Joker. Yes. Right. If you try to think about it, and presumably this is where, like, I struggle with this book, is when you start to pull at things. Right. And, does it really work? Does it really work? But I don't know if we're dealing with one of those, like, we have a flawed narrator. Like, the person who's telling us, like, the facts about this is not reliable. So how can you deal with that? Right. But there is no real narrator, and we have an omniscient experience watching the cabin. But when the Jokers are explaining to us basically that, like, they've all, like, in theory, the idea is that, like, they were, like, one created each of them. Yes. I suppose. And, like, seemingly the criminal must have done that. Yeah. The criminal does not strike me as a person who would think to do that. Right. Like, why does he want to keep making Jokers? Yeah, like, in the first place, why would he have made a second Joker? Yeah. Right. Unless we're meant to be like, no, the comedian was first, but that doesn't make any sense because the comedian is supposed to have been created by Batman. Yeah. Well, and they're all created by Batman. Because they have to be.
Because
I guess
Criminal
so.
Joker was created by Batman, and Criminal Joker claims to have created Comedian Joker, and the Clown one's the only one that technically doesn't really have a Red Hood origin, although he does because he says as much to Jason. I don't know.
That's where like and like maybe it's just I need a little time away from it.
Yeah.
To you know, kind of think more on it.
Yeah.
You know, I it's fun that Barbara gets a chance to punch him in the face with his own camera.
I like that, and I also like the book. I like that overall.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that outside of this. I think it's funny because in this book they make a point of basically telling you that it doesn't matter to her. Like she's stronger than that. She doesn't need that.
She doesn't need to do it, but then she does it anyway. But only in a situation that was like
helping someone else.
Well, it was also like this situation was literally created so we could see that visual. I feel like
yeah. Joker doesn't literally do the thing on the cover of Killing Joke.
No,
but we do it in this because remember Killing Joke. Also, like, what's the significance of? There's at the end, Criminal Joker like does the dynamite thing to keep Batman's attention, and then at the end he's like, "I'm gonna blow us both up." And we have this moment where he's like, it hurts to laugh. And he's like, he looks like he looks like Comedian Joker, but it's just because it's like so crazy and gnarled.
Mm-hmm.
But like when we see him dead, we see the flag come out of the bombs that says boom. There is no dynamite.
No, it was just I assumed it was the acid that exploded.
But the acid already exploded. When the lighter fell.
Well, then it was just like he was not going.
But why was he doing that?
What do you mean?
Like, why was he like, okay, if I can't have what I want, I'm gonna blow us both up, and then like it turns out there is no blowing anybody up. But like, did Comedian Joker switch the dynamite?
Maybe.
And why? At the end of like, ultimately, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot in here, but like, why? To what end? To what better point of the narrative? Like, what are you trying to say? Because if you look at, like, the art, and you really, like, focus on certain things being said, or certain things being pointed out, like, there's some real, like, cool Watchmen-esque Easter eggs and clues in there. Like, there's very deliberate stuff in the art.
Sure.
Throughout. And there's stuff I've noticed recently that I just forgot about, but, like, and just subtleties in art. You know, like, when Criminal Joker laughs, and how you see his eye is sad, or when you see... the flashback in issue 1 of Joe Chill, we're seeing Batman's memory of Joe Chill, but it's his twisted memory of Joe Chill being like a menacing figure. And then in the 3rd issue, we see it again, and he's staring down the Joker. And I guess it's like, in order to get into Batman's zone, he thinks of Joe Chill, but this time when he does, he sees like a softer face, and he sees this person who's like scared and unsure of himself. And Batman softens.
I think that when he sees Joe Chill again, he sees the moment after. When he sees the kid, like when he first showed up and he was menacing, it was because he was, and then he was a kid,
right. Yeah, okay, because I thought it was just him. It was just,
I think that's just a different interpretation. Yeah. Like, my interpretation was just that it was just the rest of the memory,
right?
And like he wouldn't allow himself to have it,
right. That's fair too. I also love like the subtlety in face, like where Batman does soften. I loved when it happened in issue 2. I like Joker. And his, like, facial expression when he's like, I fixed you. Like, I really like how that is. Like, I like seeing Joker and Batman alone. And I like them having those Killing Joke moments because they're so rare and because they're so telling. And I liked that moment. But I was also like, but ultimately, was it earned? Not really. And was it important? Not really. And why? And if you wanted to make the whole book that, like, this ending, I think, is great. And if that were what it was, if there were no 3 Jokers, and it was just Comedian Jokers, like, doing some crazy shit, if Joker War were this, you know, it's like, I'm doing some crazy shit, but I'm doing it to actually get to hear. Like, I'm doing this big thing to get everyone's attention, but it's really about you and me, Bruce.
It is kind of...
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and you are right, I think, in the fact of, like, the timing of both these books, because the fact is, like, Joker's plan in Joker War is to break down Bruce Wayne, Batman, in order to like bring him back to what he was. And in this one, it's to break him down and help him deal with his trauma.
Yeah.
Is very like that specific element of his trauma. Nothing else. No other parts of it.
But like, and you get, I don't know. I don't like, and then, but then it goes too far, like in Joker the movie, where it's like, okay, you're saying something, and then he has a silly monologue where he's crying, and it's like, shut up. But like in this, it's like he makes his point, and then he's like, I'm the devil, and I'm like, no, you don't buy your own hype.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not. I'm forever. Like, no, man. You just are. If you are that, just be that.
Yeah.
Don't explain it. You're explaining the punchline, Joker.
Yeah, it was just like, not what you do, and you know that. You're the comedian.
But of course, if he's killing
Joker,
I guess
he's the crazy
bad
one.
Also, and should we talk about the letter?
Yeah, the letter. Like,
it sucks.
I think it's okay, so I don't know if it sucks. No, it sucks. I think it fits for the Jason Todd that's in this book.
Yeah, this
sure.
like pathetic man baby.
Oh my god, I wouldn't even say he was that. Like he, like for the first time, seemingly again, literally, I'm treating this as just from this book. This Jason Todd has had the first moment of like having someone reach out to him, and he doesn't know how to handle it.
He doesn't handle it well.
He doesn't handle it well, and he doesn't know how to communicate with that person. And like I felt originally like after that moment, like he was so not written correctly, and then on second examination, I'm like, no, he's written like a person who doesn't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
Because like this is what I do, but now this doesn't work for me necessarily because now I've experienced like understanding, so like I know what I'm doing is probably not right, but like I'm doing it anyway.
Right.
And so like he leaves this note, and I think it's actually self-sabotaging.
Yeah, of course.
Like
I mean, like the fact that he tapes it to a door.
He tapes it to a door. He doesn't even slide it under the door.
No. He tapes it to the door, and he literally says, like, the only way I'll know that you don't want to do it is if you don't respond to this letter.
Yeah, and so, like, I think there's something, like, really tragic there, because what you see for these two characters is that one of them
knows how to deal with pain. Like,
sort of. I mean, like, she does and she doesn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we see...
Well, no, Johns wants you to think she's really good at it. She's excellent.
I think the way,
which is why she's breaking treadmills and like freaking out.
I think the way in which she's depicted via the art is that like yes, she does have a handle on it, but I think that this set her back like a step.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like a lot, but like it was like a little reminder, and like she's just like, I have to get through this, and like this is how I get through it. And with him, he's just so damaged. He's just such a damaged individual that doesn't know how to deal with this, and like it's easier honestly if she never contacts him.
Right, of course.
Like it's just easier that way.
But I also think it's like it's like really pathetic and annoying that like he's like, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to do it by giving you the keys to my pain. Like I'm gonna put it all on you. Well, and that's really irresponsible.
It is,
and it's like it's the kind of thing where she'd be like, "Fuck you for doing that. Like, how dare you make me responsible for your fucking development?"
See, I don't think she would be like that, because I think people who are that hurt need something like that sometimes. Like if you're in the weeds like that, you can't tell it sometimes. And like you need someone to lead you out.
Right. But like, at the same time, he's like, you have to, if you sleep with me, I won't be Red Hood anymore. And it's like, at the end of the day, that's what he's saying, and that's totally lame. I don't think that's what it was. I think he needs like a relationship. Like a real relationship. But and they'll probably sleep together. And the problem is, he already had those. Wow. But John's like, no, but he hasn't. But again,
it's just literally, and that's why, like, again, I don't feel like you can work this into continuity.
No.
Regardless of the retcon.
Sure you can, because it's DC, we'll just pick and choose.
Right.
Kid, yes. Jason Todd, no. 3 Jokers, sure. Maybe. There's only one anyway.
Who cares?
Joe Chill, nah. The one that works, no.
Yeah, we'll see if he comes around to
what's
anything.
The significance of the guy who's pushing the broom?
Yeah, because they're in purple and it's like fun time cleaners.
Yeah, is he a Joker too? Is he the Joker?
What? Oh, the original Joker? Like maybe there's some other Joker
oh my God.
Who like made all of them and they don't even realize it.
I think at the end of the day, DC has learned a lesson where they're not going to do that anymore. Like no more 3 Jokers. Probably. No more Jeff Johns. Like for them, like this was #1 book. So like a lot of people are like, this is bullshit and stupid. It's like, well, you bought it.
No, it's true. The DC made their money off of it for sure. I mean, like, I do wonder if they're not going to hurt in trade sales unless they do some sort of like stunt with that.
No, it'll have gorgeous art and it'll be it'll be hardcover. $60, done. Like we got our money, and they'll get their money. And the fact is, because it's like a self-contained thing with some great looking art that's called Batman, it'll be at bookstores and other places where comics are not sold.
Right, and there may also be a time where they're just like, this is like an Elseworld story. This is not in continuity. Yeah. And then it honestly might sell well again. Like, as we move away from it, people will be like, oh yeah, remember that story? That was kind of fun. Three
Jokers, where it's like not really, where it's like an alternate reality where a lot of stuff happened, but a lot of stuff didn't either.
Yeah. No, for sure. Honestly, it's funny. I was thinking about this as we were talking about this, like, you have these two writers. Now one of them doesn't really work for them anymore, but you have Jeff Johns, who like really has this thing for Alan Moore.
Yeah.
And you got Scott Snyder, who really has this thing for Grant Morrison.
Yeah, and they're both going in like two divergent directions with the whole DC universe.
Yeah. Well, they were.
Yeah, Doomsday Clock and Death Metal are two very different interpretations of the same universe.
Yeah. Built off of
their progenitors.
Yeah. It's funny too, like Alfred's in this, but he's not in it enough.
No.
Like, he's just a device.
He's just a device.
He's just a device. And like,
I'm glad he's in it because, like, fuck you, he's gonna come back.
Right. And like, Gordon's in it, but like, considering the fact he's a device too, and like, considering the fact that it was the comedian.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh
my god, no. He has a moment with Barbara where he's like, yeah, listen, I'm sure it wasn't really easy for you to deal with the Joker. Oh yeah, you think? You think it wasn't easy? Because like, we reveal also that he knows who she is.
Yeah.
So it's like, he knows he's talking to his daughter, so he's like, hey, listen, it probably wasn't easy for you dealing with, the guy who crippled you, but like, don't go out with Jason Todd.
Right, but also, like, I know that at the end of the day that, like, Jim...
She can handle it.
Well, like, Jim wasn't broken by the end of the Killing Joke, but that doesn't mean that he wouldn't still be like, I don't want this to happen again.
Yeah!
We don't deal with that at all.
No.
And he's just like, it's fine.
No, he's a plot device.
But, like, it's funny, too, because
like, it's about Jason and Barbara.
But, like, if you wanted to do that, and you wanted to deal with, like, that sort of trauma thing, and, like, you've got... I find it sad that Jim Gordon's in a position to be like, don't talk to that kid, as opposed to, like, that kid needs some help.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, because she's better than Gordon. She's the better Gordon. See, Jim's like an old man who just, he just knows to be protective of his daughter. She's the one who has too much heart to be a Joker.
He's the one that broke...
Yeah.
He broke the Joker at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Like, Batman of course fought him and like,
yeah, but he won.
But like Jim proved that he was wrong.
Yes.
Anyway.
Like, there's a lot, like,
the
problem is, ultimately, at the end of the day, you can't play fast and loose with continuity like this. Like, you can't pick and choose when you want to do a story like this. Or you have to pick a very small amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this could have been both, this could have been Schrodinger's Batman book, where it's in continuity, not in continuity. You could have, if you wanted to do a Killing Joke 2, you could have done a Killing Joke 2 with 3 Jokers. But you needed to be very unspecific about what happened, what didn't happen, and who it's happening to.
Yeah.
If this was only about Batman, for example, it would have been a triumph, I think. Because it wouldn't have been weird and complicated. And I don't mean thematically. I mean, like, structurally.
Right.
And, like, intellectually.
Right.
But, because it's about Batman's pain at the end of the book, which is also irresponsible when you're trying to talk about Jason and Barbara's pain. But if you want to do a book about Jason and Barbara, then just tell them you want to do a book about Jason and Barbara, and then go do that.
Yeah.
But, like, Batman's too big to be the third protagonist in a Batman book.
No, it's true. Like I said, for me, I literally don't know how I feel about this at the end of the day.
No.
And I struggle with the fact that it's like, I feel like there is something there.
Yeah.
But I feel like it got lost along the way.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like we were saying, like, the fact is, like, Joker's, at the end of the day, a comedian wants to be the thing that Batman
cares the most about,
yet leaves Barbara and Jason alive, does not try to break Barbara again.
Yeah.
To reignite that.
Yeah. Well, and don't forget, because he hurt Barbara and didn't know who she was. Or did he always? Like, is this not just a retcon of Killing Joke for Joker? It's also a retcon where he's like, no, I always knew who you were, and I attacked Gordon for 2 reasons. I crippled Barbara not to upset Gordon, but also to take a Batgirl away from you. Like, that sucks too.
I seriously hope not, because, like, what I like about the Killing Joke is that, like, he's just like, no, I picked, like, a regular dude, like, a person who's supposed to be, like,
he's the bastion of
Gotham,
authority.
And, like, let's, break this man and show you that one bad day. That's all it takes.
Yeah. Well, and then, of course, like, the retcon is that, like, no, every day's a bad day for you. You were a piece of shit who beat your wife. That's definitely not what Moore was saying.
No, I know.
Like,
I know.
you used the one panel where he argues with his wife.
Yeah.
And you turned that into a severe character. Now, that being said, like, would Joker, is it, does it help him being more of a mass murdering psychopath if he's a jerk to start? Sure. But, like, the point is, it turns anybody into a Joker.
Yeah, like literally. Well, they're making that to be like it's a certain type that will really become one. But like, there is something to be said about the Killing Joke and the concept of like, sure, he was a failure and he was already on a spiral, but like that he wouldn't have led himself to being a murderer necessarily. He
wouldn't have been the worst thing ever.
Yeah, and that like he literally like it was a bad day.
Yeah.
It was the worst day.
Yeah, exactly.
For him.
Well, and Killing Joke is about how both of them had a bad day and went in two different directions.
Yeah. But
that's not what this is.
No. And
that's the thing, like, just because something is simpler doesn't mean that it is simple. Like, the themes of Killing Joke are simpler than whatever they're trying to say with Three Jokers. But it doesn't mean that Three Jokers is deeper or more or smarter or more successful than Killing Joke. I think that's apparent by how much they're trying to ape off of the things that are simpler but more everlasting. But we also know that certain things can be in continuity and also out of continuity, because Frank Miller's Year One was in continuity and in the regular pages of regular ongoing Batman. And then when you take them out, you can sell them on the shelf as Year One. And that could be a template for your origin story for Batman. It could be a Elseworlds Batman story, or it could be your origin for Batman from any Batman story you read. That's not achievable with this.
Yeah.
And it's too bad because, like, we don't get a lot of these. Like, we don't get a lot of, like, prestige format, like, attempts at deeper conversations about, like, popular characters.
Right.
Like, we don't get a lot of these opportunities, and you squander this one by making it too many things and ultimately being about nothing.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's very true.
And it's too bad, because, like, this could have been something. Or it could have, more importantly, the real sadness is that this was advertised as a Black Label book back when Black Label was announced. But they were like, no, but this one's in continuity. It's just that it's a Black Label book because we can put butts in there and say assholes. And it's like, right on, okay, fine. But, like, it's another casualty of the fact that Black Label means nothing and is nothing. Like, this could have been a triumph in terms of, like, paving the way for more terrific, on-the-shelf, seminal, out-of-continuity or in-continuity stories that are about one thing or a couple of things that, like, exist between this cover and this cover, and that's it. And instead it's just, and that's the problem, is that, like, because this is such a visual triumph, but such a thematic, like, splat, that it will ultimately be forgotten.
Sure. I mean, well, like I said, like, I don't know if it'll be forgotten. It might be, but, like,
only as a joke.
I think what will be forgotten is how long it took to bring it out.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, seriously, I can't help but think about how long it took and how much time they had to tighten it up.
Yeah.
To tighten up the story. You know, like, obviously the art took a while. I mean, I think that's very obvious by how, like, intricate and, like, lovingly crafted
and I heard rumors they changed the ending.
Okay.
That, like, because of the editorial direction of DC, they ended up changing this too.
Okay.
And I'd like to know what they changed, because maybe it was better.
Yeah.
Maybe it got more complicated because of the changes. I don't know.
I assume they killed him.
Right.
The Joker.
Yeah.
They're like, just let him die for a bit.
Or they dropped Joe Chill. And then by accident, Jeff Johns stumbled on something more interesting, which is Joker, which is Batman getting over the trauma of Joe Chill. Which is why Joker says such meta things that are so part of the conversation now in this book, where he's like, we thought it might be Jason, but actually when you think about it, he's kind of too stupid. And we thought about Barbara, but, like, she has too much heart. And it had to be Joe Chill. It makes too much sense. And then, like, when Barbara goes, 3 Jokers, what does that even mean? I'm like, when I read that in issue 3, I was like, huh. You're talking about what we're all talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get to the real complication, which is this in continuity? If it is, then at the end of Darkseid War, when Batman is sitting on the chair and he's like, who killed my parents? Joe Chill. Yes, that's right. What is the true identity of the Joker? Or what is the Joker's true name? Which is what he says. And it's like, how is there are three of them the answer to that question? And
which one?
Which one? Which I think is funny, but I also like, if you...
Or he got a different name.
If you knew the true name, why did you ask in the first place?
That is, you know what? That's true. That's true.
Now, that being said, maybe he was just doing a test. Another one. Who killed my parents? Joe Chill. Okay. How about I ask you a harder question?
He's like, did I just fart?
Yeah. And it's like, the chair's like, of course. And it's like, oh.
Damn it.
They didn't know.
Why did I ask that?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, the problem is, it's not enough about anything, any one thing.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe it thought it had more.
I think it needed to come out at a different point in time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like put it out a year later.
A year later.
Or 4 years earlier.
Or not when there was literally another Joker event going on.
They really needed this to not come out during the Joker event.
Yeah. Yeah.
In which the Monarch Theater was a big player.
Yeah.
Although what's funny is they both screwed each other over.
Mm-hmm.
Because Joker War undercut Three Jokers, and I'm sure that they redirected the climax of Joker War from the Monarch Theater because of the ending of the story. That they were like, you can't have it end in the Monarch Theater. The other one's gonna end in the Monarch Theater.
Seriously, I would love to know, like, from both writers, like, how much was editorial involved?
Yeah.
And what did they change?
Right.
So, I don't know.
It's too bad. Because, I think the art deserves an Eisner.
It is fantastic. It's very good.
It's too good. It's too good to just let it disappear, which I think it will absolutely do.
Maybe.
There's nothing in here that's important or interesting enough for people to point out.
I think people liked it. I think some people liked it.
I think people liked it, but I think the art tricked them into liking it more than they really did.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think, give it a little time. I think people have a different read on it.
Totally. Well, that's the case with anything. But the other problem is, well, there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of issues with this book overall. But at the end of the day, I think I had a good time reading it.
I think I did.
Yeah, like I remember reading it and not being like, "Oh, screw you." Like I was just like, like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And there were a couple moments where I was like, "Oh," like where I was surprised. And there were a couple of moments where there was at least one moment where I really appreciated what they did. Like I was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
Like, for me, and this is just me speaking for myself, the idea that the Joker picked like the Joker's like, "No, I'm gonna fix you." I love that idea, and I wish it were its own story, and it wasn't muddled in this Red Hood, Batgirl, two other Jokers nonsense.
Okay.
Like I wish Joker just been like, "I'm gonna do that." Now I love the idea that but I also do love the idea that Joker made this bad book so that at the end he could be like, "Nah, it was actually about this." Like, I bet you didn't notice that I fixed your trauma, did you?
Haha.
And that feels very Joker to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
The Joker that I like. So, yeah, at the end of the day, that's Three Jokers.
There it is.
I'd love to know your opinions in the comments if you're watching this after the fact. But of course, we do appreciate everybody who shared their opinions here. We have a lot of super chats, so we're going to go through those, and then we're going to give you recommendations. Tiffany, do you have any final thoughts before we go on?
I don't. I think, again, I guess my final thought is I wish it were tighter. And I wish they had paid a little more attention to things that don't quite work. And weren't either, like, just like, oh, who cares? Or, like, leaning on, like, this whole, like, oh, he's multiple choice, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
That's one line in Killing Joke that set that up.
You can't do that all the time.
Yeah. Nerd King 101 says, any chance of Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, on back issues when the show comes out? Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm not a moron. Joshua Vaughn says, just wanted to drop a couple of bucks as a thank you for the awesome content of the channel. Keep it up, guys. That Joshua Vaughn is one fine piece of ace. Thank you, Josh.
Well, thank you.
Sean D, who's Pepe Sylvia? We're not going to talk about Pepe Sylvia because no, Pepe Sylvia is a great Sunny references. Thank you very much. But yeah, it rebooted. So let me see here. Delapa Fami, also love you both. But did you see the mad Jim Jaspers in the first page of Stasis? He's in the next X-Men issue too, and Mr. M is teased Mr. Mercator.
Yeah. Jasper's actually in charge of one of the realms in Otherworld.
Oh!
I was like, Rob's got to be...
Splooging!
Yeah.
Super Pooper, I loved the Joe Chill arc. Wish that drama was stretched out. The Joker part was not as engaging for me. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Adler's musical musings. The one thing I like about the ending is just how pathetic it makes Joker seem. A small, awful man who wants to make himself out to be something bigger. Yeah, as he starts, he gets gets more sad and human. When he yells in Batman's face. So yeah, I have to reread it with
Which is
thought.
weird because he also says
I'm the devil and I'm immortal, but that's the kind of thing
to be a force of nature.
That's the kind of thing an asshole would say anyway.
It's true.
Super Luigi X says, while I also have problems with the overall story, I do like the idea that the Joker wants to be the only real pain on Batman's mind.
Oh, sure.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Deviled Ham says, 3 Jokers has basically given the Joker access to Doombots because now every time he seems out of character, you can just say it wasn't the real Joker.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Just some guy with a mustache. Were the Jokers all voiced by Mark Hamill for you too, or did you do that thing where they were all voiced by different iconic Joker voice actors?
They had no voices for me.
Me either. I had no voice for them.
I just realized that now.
Our Jokers were silent. Shows everything. Venomous. So Killing Joke, Joker helped Batman instead of Batman trying to help Joker like he wanted to at the end of Killing Joke. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Dan V900, I prefer the closure Bruce gets with Joe Chill in the Batman Brave and the Bold episode, Chill of the Night. I get what Johns was going for, but I didn't really buy into it, honestly. I believe in that episode, it's actually a callback to a classic Batman story. There is an old Batman story where Batman goes to Joe Chill and he's like, I'm Bruce. Yeah, it's almost panel for panel. Super Pooper says, I don't like how Jason put the burden of his mental health on Barbara. That fixation seems unhealthy. Change for yourself, man. That made me uncomfortable. It also made me uncomfortable.
That's fair.
Dan V900. So Snyder's Joker was great, huh? Where was he? I don't know what you mean. If you're talking about Zack Snyder's Joker, he did. No, that's David Ayer's Joker, and he sucks. If you're talking about Scott Snyder's Joker, that was comedian Joker. It's in the flashbacks. They show you that comedian Joker has been Joker from 86 to now.
Yeah.
TB almost seemed like at the end he was saying that one Joker is still the one who did all those things, that the others were just pawns. Joker got us again. Could be. The whole thing is just a big makeup thing. He's just no, see how many Jokers I can make? Yeah, I made an old one who thinks he's in charge, and I made a middle grade one that's like me but has old gags.
And I gave them memories.
Yeah. Sam Tyler, hey guys, I loved your Hellblazer episode and was just curious if Tiffany's a fan of the other cult detectives like Dylan Dog or Hellboy.
I'm sorry. Just every time I think of Dylan Dog, obviously.
You think of the Brandon Routh movie.
I just think of Brandon Routh. I'm sorry. I don't read a lot of Hellboy either.
No.
Is he a detective?
Yeah, he's kind of a detective. No.
He's a crime fighter.
Yeah, he's an occult
specialist.
Joshua Nelson, aside from the Killing Joke, what is your idea of a great Joker story? What do you personally think makes it a great Joker story? When they come out of left field, I like Joker stories when they're sudden, when he's consistent, and when the story doesn't, when the story stays about Joker. When it's, they're trying to figure it out, or, I don't really like too many Joker stories. I like stories in which Joker appears. I love how they used him in Nightfall when he was just he and Scarecrow team up because you've never seen that before, and they go on this hilarious adventure where they kidnap the mayor and they make the mayor make prank calls to utilities departments to screw over Gotham, and then eventually they have an argument and Scarecrow squeezes a scare. He has a skull shaped squeeze thing that shoots his toxin in people's faces, and he shoots it in Joker, and Joker starts to starts to freak out, but then it's all a ruse. And, and then he just kicks the shit out of Scarecrow. He's like, oh, well, that was fun. I'm off. And then he blows up the dam, and Batman just beats the shit out of him because he's exhausted. So all he thinks about is Jason. That's a really cool Joker story. And he's only in the book, a little bit.
Yeah.
Similarly with No Man's Land. Joker's amazing in that. It's when I like Joker kind of like the way I like Predator stories, where it's a Batman story and the Joker shows up and he's like, "No, it's not me," and that's kind of a bit befitting of the character. Joshy Lee, can't wait. Come watch right now. Just wanted to show some support.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Joshy. Kevbot 1995. Don't have much to say except regardless of story, we all won with the breathtaking, glorious art gifted us by Faybuck. Now take my money. P.S. Baltimore Comic Con was a blast. Thanks for coming, Kevbot. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I feel really bad for Faybuck because I feel like he was like, this is it, and then it was like everyone's like, fuck this book, but your art's great, and he's like, that's not enough. No way. Some days you can't get rid of a bomb. Good reference. Nerd King 101. Joe Chill's death is the best part of the book. It's an excellently rendered moment. I love that.
It is solid.
Yeah. Rusky 910. How much do you think the meta knowledge of what happened with Johns and DC affected your views on Three Jokers and Doomsday Clock? Not so much, because I actually really love Doomsday Clock.
I dug Doomsday Clock as well. Again, if there's any meta knowledge, I'm just gonna call back to how long it took.
Yeah,
that's the meta knowledge that definitely is coloring my view of this book right now.
Even for me, I don't even care. I didn't even think about the time.
I can't help it.
It was just about the Joker War, and the fact that it ultimately narratively isn't structurally well executed. Super Luigiak, the letter does suck. The relationship was fine. Only on issue 2 they could have made a reference to on 3, but now Jason's just sad.
He is sad.
He is very sad.
For some people, for different ways.
That's true. Just for MeTube, Batman the Three Jokers simultaneously asked the question of who the Three Jokers are, didn't answer it, and then told us it didn't matter, and that we're stupid for caring. Yes, it did. It did do that. Fair enough. Nerd King says, who killed his parents isn't a secret. It's just not something the chair would know. So then he asks something that only he knows. That's fair. Yeah, he's like, people could have figured out, like, who killed my parents. Because, like, you know, he's in Blackgate for the murder of the Waynes. Right. So, like, yeah, it makes sense that the chair would know. So, yeah.
But he could have asked anything.
By the way, in back issues, I pitched a way better ending to the story.
Oh, I look forward to that.
It's like a joke, though. It's not real. Because we talk about how, that's
fitting.
Yeah, it's not really a good ending, but it's like, oh, if that had happened, I would be like, okay. I'll tell you later.
Okay, I look forward to it. I was here. How did I not hear it?
I don't know
what I was doing.
Alex Sanchez, listening to you awesome too while fighting Ornstein and Smo and Dark Souls. Much love.
Nice.
Thank you.
I've never played Dark Souls. I've only played Bloodborne, so I'm not familiar with that. But whatever it is, I'm sure it's horrific and terrible, and I don't want to fight it.
Alex Cash, thank you very much for your support, man. So many feels on Three Jokers. I think Johns is intentionally trying to subvert expectations and perhaps even chide us for being so infatuated with the identity of the Jokers. Don't know if that's successful. Repeated reads definitely in order. Yeah, I gotta reread. I've read it 4 times. I've got to read it again and
Wait,
you
read it 3 times, you're done.
Yeah, I know. There's only 3.
Now you unlock the secret ending. This is like another full, like, few panels.
I would like that. I could use that. But yeah, I know that, and he does that. But for me, it's like, don't be like, hey, here's a mystery. Oh, that is a mystery. Fuck you. That's not important. You asked, man. You brought it up. No, we were all fine with no Three Jokers until you showed up.
Yeah.
Also, you were asking us for 4 years, man.
It's like a really dickish Sherlock Holmes mystery.
Yeah, what a douche. So anyway, let's jump into some recommendations.
Okay.
What do you got, Tiffany?
What do I got?
Yeah.
It's a great question. What do I've got? Is that right?
Yeah.
That is right. X-Men number 14 is coming out. It's part 12 of 22 of the 10 of Swords. Along with that, Marauders number 14, which will be part 13. So Marauders first, then X-Men. Just because literally I've seen this everywhere. If you're a Donny Cates fan, you're going to be picking up crossover number 1 from Image.
The pre-orders on this are nuts. So I gotta grab it.
I literally don't know anything about this book except that, like, I'm going to have to check it out because
I like
it's been everywhere.
Yep.
I'm not saying I recommend it because I like the Spurrier book more so, but I know a lot of folk like the Tom Taylor Hellblazer book, so I want to remind you that Hellblazer Rise and Fall number 2 is coming out.
I can't believe it took this long.
I know. Tom Taylor Black Label Hellblazer book. So if you were on that and you liked it, cool. I just want to also mention, I read the first volume of Sweet Tooth. It's fine. I wasn't a huge fan. It didn't grab me. Maybe I'll give it a shot, but I know other people are. So I want to bring up that Sweet Tooth, The Return #1 is coming out by Jeff Lemire. So you might want to check that out. Every once in a while, I put something in my recommends just because it's like, when am I ever going to say this again? When am I ever going to say this again? Ready? Hellstrom, Marvel Tales #1 is coming out.
Yep.
That's it. I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say it.
I maybe because like the show came out and then nobody watched it.
I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I saw you pull this, but I'll
Please go ahead.
Oh, if you love Strange Adventures like I do, you might want to pick up Strange Adventures, the director's cut #1.
King says that there's going to be a lot of like stuff in there.
It's a lot of stuff.
Like a lot of like explanations and things. So if you're like, if you're halfway through and you're like, I want to know more, like this will tell you.
It's like
more.
A big issue with a lot of stuff in it.
No. Can you put it in a big issue?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, those all. Oh no, here we go. Okay, so
You
get rid of that.
Yeah, you got that.
Okay, so Tales from the Dark Multiverse continues with a Dark Multiverse version of Batman Hush.
Why?
Who cares? So I'm gonna read that. DC's Dead Planet #5 comes out. I don't know how many issues this is going to be. I assume 6. But this is a great book. And it's one of 2 versions of Jonathan Kent that are awesome. No, wait. It's the only one with Jonathan Kent right now in continuity, or that's out of continuity, that's good. Jonathan Kent right now, I don't know what the fuck. I don't pay attention to that. But it's good. This is a great book. And I think that's it as far as those recommendations go. Yes, that's it. So, before we go, of course, don't forget hashtag Save Hellblazer. DanV900 says, I meant Scott Snyder's Joker, but in Rebirth, the 3 Jokers are the Golden Age, the Killing Joke, and Snyder's version. I'm wondering how much they changed in the last 4 years of the original plan. They always said that it was going to be Golden, Silver, and Modern. So, no, Snyder's version was going to be the comedian Joker. That's what I've heard, and that's what they said. So, yeah. I don't know where you get your... You know, we got our wires crossed, I guess, but yeah, no. Snyder's version was not going to be the same Joker. He does get a variant cover though.
Well, that's something.
Yeah. But yeah, so
that's something.
Let's see. So let's pick a winner, huh?
Yeah.
Let me go get it. So, you know.
The winner? Is that what you're going to go get? What's happening? Hey guys, what's up? Now let's talk about nothing but independent books. This is where the viewership just plummets. By the way, you have to be here. You have to be here when we announce who the winner is, which will be coming at any moment. Any minute now. There it is. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how lovely this is. Lovely.
Yep.
Lovely. You have this copy that I'm thumbing through right now.
Yeah. So, the idea is we're going to read off a randomly selected winner who used hashtag Hellblazer, who lives in the continental United States and would like this copy. And then we'll name them. We'll see if you are in the chat, and if you are, guess what? You'll win. So, congratulations. Oh yeah, I hear Adventure Man is good too. Okay, here we go. The winner, according to our impartial moderator, and who actually uses like a thing, like a machine that like does this, is Kai Williams.
I literally see them right there. They just said Adventure Man is amazing.
Well, good for Kai, because Kai won. Congratulations, Kai. You did it.
You've done it.
So once he sounds off, we'll be able to wrap up. But in the meantime, we want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe to our channel. Like videos. It helps us out more than I think we articulate, because YouTube is being weird and no one, YouTube's not recommending our videos. The videos that are being recommended are recommended through like weird crap. Like I saw like in my recommendations, there was like this like in another language fishing video. And I'm like, what the hell's this? No. And it was like, oh, but you liked Elseworlds Exchange. And I'm like, eat my ass. So yeah, congratulations, Kai. What you need to do, Kai, is you need to email me, sal@comicpop.net. Email me, and I will send your information along. Of course, you give me your info, and I'll mail your stuff out. So email me, sal@comicpop.net. That is my email address. You can find it on my Twitter profile. So it's not like I'm giving away anything, particularly.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorted. That's my work email. So, you can look it up on the channel. But yeah. Thank you all so much for indulging us on this conversation about Three Jokers and so much more. Ten of Swords, of course, continuing to roll out. Thank you very much for remaining with it. Because I'm not reading it right now. I'll read it all when it's done.
There you go.
But yeah, so of course, if you want to enjoy more, we have a new Twitch schedule, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Twitch.tv/ComicPop. Follow for it costs you nothing to go over there and follow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's all we got.
That's all we got. There's more coming, of course. Tomorrow's Tuesday. There'll be a Elseworlds exchange that's pre-recorded because tomorrow is election day. Make sure if you are in the United States, vote. Make your voice heard.
Yes.
You don't have a right to complain if you don't vote for somebody.
That's
so,
right.
Make sure to vote, and because it's really important, and it's. I don't stress this very much, but like if nothing else, if you're an American, it's your responsibility. Like. With great power comes great responsibility, and like if you want to say you have any kind of like if you want any kind of like moral justification for doing anything, voting is one of those things. It's one of your inalienable rights that you are awarded and afforded and you deserve because by virtue of just being born in this country, and you should do it. Just please vote. It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you're hearing it on November 2nd. And we're not going to be the ones to convince you, but I hope at the very least you go and vote. It's very important. But so vote, and of course tomorrow when you're done voting, you can reward yourself by watching me talk to Tom King about Batman vs. Predator for like an hour.
This happened.
It's a lot of fun. I'm recommending it now because I don't want to bury the lead because creator interviews don't do very well. So I'm just going to say. Go vote, and then when you're done, watch me and Tom King talk about
Do
stuff.
it up.
It's a lot of fun. Actually, he is also going to be physically at...
I thought he already was.
No, that's on Election Day. He will be in Philadelphia at some comic book store, which I promote in the episode. Fat something, I don't know. But yeah, so check that out tomorrow, and we'll see you guys next week with another episode. And of course, that's the schedule. If you look at our channel right now, go to youtube.com/ComicPop. You can see a handy-dandy new header that Tiffany made that gives you a schedule. It's Monday, Off the Rack, Tuesdays, Elseworlds, Wednesdays, Back Issues, and then there's like nothing, but like sometimes there's something.
Sometimes, but we don't always do that.
But you want to subscribe to find out more. If you're a newcomer, I promise you there's a lot of fun stuff. 2 live shows and at least 1 other pre-recorded show that's like a lot of fun. It's, fun deep dives into full stories. So
absolutely.
Check it out. Congratulations to Kai for winning this copy of Hellblazer. Make sure to email me at sal@compop.net, and we'll do more giveaways as we go. If more people watch, we'll do more giveaways. That'll be a lot of fun. So that's it. So long, everybody. Thanks a lot for hanging out.
Bye, guys.